again. Let me give you one more shot of this. And a quick health check on a few of them just to see how they're doing. So if you're new, welcome aboard. To all the new subscribers, a massive thank you. Hey guys, here we go, mixed bag. Good majority of the small ones, and then these are going to be the last that I go through. If anybody does one, gone for good. Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to this week's Thursday Night Live. Hope you're all enjoying this glorious weather that we've been having, and I hope you're all well and had a good week up to press. How are you doing, Matt? You good? Worn out? Tired from all the mega build?
Yeah, it's been a busy week, a hot week.
Yeah.
Can't sleep at night, sweating away like mad. You see...
I gotta show it. I gotta show it. I got a little message. Got a little message sent from earlier in the week, and it's probably not the best one to start the night off with, but why the hell not? It's it's quite funny. I thought it was quite funny. He said, "Was absolutely boiling last night in bed," and then sent me this little picture just to prove it. So yeah, that was very warm the other night.
It's so hot though, isn't it? It's just absolutely nuts.
It's been, yeah, that's one thing that picture was missing. It didn't have no nuts. But with I think with someone that size, nuts would be it, wouldn't they? Yeah, but good evening, everybody.
Talking about the heat though, one thing I did learn this week, the saying, what was it? Sweating like a pig. Do you know where that come from?
No, but it's going to be one of those old traditional sayings like the sleeping on a clothesline, which back in day in World War I or World War II, soldiers used to have a line across and they used to get pegged to a line so that they could actually literally relax and sleep pinned to a line. But I guess it's going to be one of those kind of old sayings like that or something daft.
Yeah, it was years ago when they were furnacing iron as a raw product. They used to go down these chutes, and as it was going down through the chutes, it would fall off subsidiaries. And they said that it looked like a pig feeding the babies because of all the nipples lying down. And then when it started to cool, it would sweat. And of course, so you got the pig looking like a pig.
Looking like a pig, and then the bit where the sweating coming.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like, I never knew that. 38
Every day's a school day, isn't it?
Yeah, 38 years and I'm still learning things.
Yeah, that's the one, mate. I'll whiz through these as well. Good evening, Andrew. Hope you're well. Nigel, evening. Jonathan says, hey up, guys. Temps gone above 20 in Yorkshire. We've had it up to about 35 degrees, mate. And my pond has hit 28 today. And it was 27 point on. I think you got to about 27.5 yesterday at the sort of like mid-afternoon. But yeah, temperatures have gone up pretty well. Just got me lawn looking all nice and green again since winter, and nice looking all scorched off and brown. We're starting to get those patches where it's burning. But yeah, it's certainly made a mass difference. It's a lot nicer to be. I don't know about you, but and it felt like winter was never ending. And it seemed like from going through to winter and into spring and summer officially starting, which it literally has only, we've just gone past the longest day of the year, which was Monday or Tuesday this week. So we're now starting to go the other way. And we've only just started to get temperatures that are what you could really say were looking like it's actually summer. And it's here. But short-lived, no doubt, Jonathan. Short-lived, no doubt at all.
It's almost too much, isn't it?
The thing is, though, when you're away on holiday, you can sit there and enjoy 30, 35, pushing up to 36, 7, 8, 40 degrees, and having a drink in your hand, doing a bit of sunbathing, jumping in a pool, chilling off, cooling off, relaxing and what have you. And you don't notice it, do you? Everybody thinks, oh, what a lovely holiday. But here, when we get those temperatures, our buildings just don't have aircon unless you've installed it. But our buildings are designed to retain the heat so they don't cool down on a night. So you sit there in bed and then you can't sleep, you can't rest, you can't get a good night's bit of kip, and then you're agitated and irritated all next day because you've not got enough sleep and you feel like absolute crap. But I don't mind it, mate. I love it. I think it's great. I think weather like this is absolutely brilliant, and to me, it doesn't bother me at all. If you get all the best way to cool yourself down, submerge your extremities, i.e. your wrists, your ankles, and dip your head. Fastest way to cool your body core down. So, yeah, I don't mind it. Just run your wrists underneath some cool water in a tap for 5 or 10 minutes, and you'll bring your body core temperature down straight away. But I enjoy it, me. I really do like the warm temperature. But there's a lot of people that give it it's just not same over here, but same fucking sun, isn't it?
It's like a dry heat when you go abroad.
Yeah, we don't have the humidity, do we, like you would do abroad or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, it is different. And I think the main reason why it's different is because we're so used to it being so cold, damp, and miserable that when we do get it all, it goes from one extreme to next, which we don't get that steady incline, do we? We just seem to go from shit miserable, 15, 16 degrees to 30 plus. And then it's everybody starts feeling a bit grouchy and a bit shit and not enjoying it so much.
What temperatures have your pond gone up to now?
It's 28. It's got today, but that's something on a topic I'm going to bring up when Rick joins us and we get on later on. If anybody does have any topics or sections they would like us to have a natter and a chat about this week, do us a huge favour, guys. Stick it out there and just put a question mark on the end, and that way then we'll know and it'll stand out from everybody else's comments in the chat. Like chat. Yeah, like chat. Cheers, Martin. Appreciate it. 27 degrees in the truck at midnight last night. Not enjoying this heat. But it's saying you've got aircon, can't you? And you not get aircon in truck, Chris. You can stick that on and chill yourself down. Cool yourself off a little bit. Richard says, Gaz, are you going to the show at the weekend? No, mate, I'm not. Busy, unfortunately. Not be attending. Even from Spain, it's bloody hot. There we go. It's bloody hot, but you can probably sit poolside. You can probably get yourself a nice cold fancy drink or nice cold pint to keep yourself nice and cool and hydrated, mate. Let's make sure I didn't miss anybody else's. Alan T says, evening all. Evening. Joyce says, evening, everyone. Got to love the folks of the West Country. LOL.
What's wrong with the West Country?
No wrong with it at all. Nothing wrong with it at all.
It's just the way that we talk, isn't it?
To be fair, mate, I don't really mind any of the areas that I've been in throughout the UK. I think there's a lot of nice places. I won't mind another trip down Cornwall again and go down there and have a see what that's a nice place down there.
Right. The coastline's cracking down there.
It is. It's stunning, isn't it? You got lovely coves and little beaches and private secluded ones or big ones where people are out there surfboarding and all that kind of stuff, enjoying the good weather. Now then, how's the bill going then? How are you getting on with it?
it's just been hot. Like today was just absolutely ridiculous. We had it set in our mind where we wanted to be before we head off to the National tomorrow. And we had to have the liner in and we had to have water in there. We got there, but shit, it was so hot. Honestly, today we were literally using the underlay. Sean was wrapping it around his feet and taping it up because you can't wear shoes, obviously, in there. But the socks weren't enough. And it was literally so hot. I bent over to do the bottom drains, and as my leg hit the black butyl, it just went boom, and you couldn't hear it, but it felt like you should have heard it go.
Yeah, so that's the worst thing, isn't it? I mean, it seriously does attract some heat. And I was watching Vince's video overnight, and Rick's been going out there putting some. I think it was a white lime wash that he's been throwing over polytunnels to reflect some of the heat back out. He's been getting some stupid, crazy temperatures. It really does make you. There's no fine line with them, is there? It's either all or nothing, and there's never that stable. I mean, I know he's put like down middle of them. He's put some of the black tarps up, sort of sheeting up there to reflect it back out, but I always thought that the black would attract the heat more, but I guess maybe not. I don't know.
Last week, my polytunnels on the rain were running at 25, and then today they're running at 33. So in a week. Wow. But the 33, and Rick was there, you are literally right on the line, to something bad happening.
Yeah.
And you only need one of those pumps to go off for half an hour at those temperatures, and it's just. But then when
I don't know if anybody else has seen it, and I don't know if you've watched it, but Tom's Koi channel, the guy that's out there in France, and he's got all his fish in a great big polytunnel, and he's lost a few this week, and that was pretty. I mean, he were turning around and saying that the fish are eating like crazy, and I'm thinking, fish are eating like crazy, and you're saying you've got temperatures inside your polytunnel at 45 plus. Pushing up to 50 degrees. So your water temperature's got to be 30 plus at least. But they're feeding like crazy. You shouldn't be feeding them when it's that hot. I mean, I know, especially the bigger the fish, the more oxygen they require, don't they? So the more risks that you run in feeding your fish when it gets to these higher temperatures. But we've got some little questions and some stuff to come through later on, and a couple of polls to put up when Rick gets in. He said he's going to be running behind about 15, 20 minutes. So we're going to go back to that, and I want to touch on it again because I heard Vince and Rick having a conversation about it. Now, obviously, everybody that will have already seen it and seen it on Vince's channel, and the matter for bringing it up and talking about it is it's not me to take in ideas or anything like that, but it's the kind of topics that people really need to know about and things that people really need to be doing or not doing when we get into temperatures like these, because it's not every day at week that we get temperatures like this. Now, if you're in a heated pond and you've got your air source heat pumps, you can always reverse that effect and start cooling as well and start bringing your temperatures down. If you've got a trickle in, you'll be reducing your temperatures somewhat, not a great deal, because by the time it's coming, it's probably already going to be getting that temperature and that water warming up regardless with the intense heat. But the reason that I thought I'd have a chat about it on what's your guys' opinion? And Matt, what's your opinion? I saw a question, basically, people were asking about, I asked it on my channel and I saw it on somebody else's group. What's your temperatures been in your ponds today? And then one person turned around and said that they're actually putting their winter covers on, polycarb.
I saw that. Yeah,
polycarb. And I thought to myself, this is a polycarb roof in here. And it's been pushing 55, nearly 60 degrees in here to the point where my fish tank has gone off the charts, which is the top temperature in the fish tank shows 34 degrees. Now, the temperature's gone up in that tank beyond that, and it's saying it's at 29 now looking at it. So my tank's, as it's starting to cool down now, and I've had the lid off to cool it off a little bit, it's saying it's at 29 degrees. But the heat of the day, that tank in there has been 30 plus. So if you're putting polycarb over a pond, surely to God, that's just going to be...
It's no different to a polytunnel, is it?
Yeah, that's going to be increasing the temperatures, not making it. Surely to God, that's going to be having the exact reverse effect of what they were trying to do. You would think. That's what I thought anyway. But I mean, I know how warm it gets in a conservatory when you've got polycarb roofing, which is 22 mil thick or something like that. I think this one, 22 or 25, but it's, a good thickness on it. But in here is ridiculous, man. It's stupid. Touch the window frames or the plastic in here and it's scorching up. It's stupid hot. You can't sit in here. You're just literally dripping in minutes. So I thought to myself, putting them over the top of your ponds, surely to God, all you're going to do is magnifying the heat for your pond even more so, unless that's what they were trying to achieve. Don't know. It just seemed a bit crazy. Would prevent sunburn only if it was opaque or only if it was tinted, because you can get it clear. Then it would magnify it, because when you look through them, you get that rainbow effect, and that rainbow. You can get burnt through a polytunnel, mate. I've been there, done it. It's happened. Just walking around in a polytunnel, that's, you would think, would deflect and remove the chance of you getting burnt, but it definitely don't.
Because the material now on the polytunnels is like 97% to allow the UV through for that purpose.
Yeah, I wonder how much is the same on polycarb. I wonder how much UV protection that's got. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but yeah.
I've always said, you see people going off and buying the polycarb from the conservatory people when they're dismantling or replacing. I said, just make sure, though, that the polycarb that you're actually getting does allow the UV through, because if it doesn't, then you just will put the fish into darkness or increase that risk of.
You're saying there, polycarb does not let UV through. I have to Google that one. Not saying it does, Seska, but if it does, that might be the reason as to why they're using it. Does that mean it? Does that all polycarbonate or tinted polycarbonate doesn't? Or do you have to buy a specific type to get it to be that way? Not saying
it's got to, though, because that would throw so many. So, like, even with Sean's got a polycarb roof over the top of it.
Yeah,
most ponds have. Well, not most ponds, but when you put a cover over a pond, you put polycarb over it for that purpose.
Yeah. Let's see, what have I missed? Oh, sorry, Jonathan. That was, would it prevent sunburn, though? Would it? Not, it would. Sorry, misread that, mate. I got a fridge on the my sleep. -2. I don't know what, mate. I think I'd be happier and comfortable at -2, trying to get a bit of sleep, with them being at 30 degrees, trying to get some sleep.
Seska's 100% right.
Yeah.
Yes. Polycarbonate naturally blocks almost all UV radiation, but it requires
would you?
So how would that work then with people that got polycarb roofs over?
How does it get sorted in a conservatory then? Because honest to God, in here, man, it's flipping hot. Hot with an F.
Is there different types of UV though?
I have no idea, mate.
Because you can buy greenhouses that are polycarb. Well, how would you ever get the plants to grow or the vegetables to?
Yeah, I wonder if you can get different types, different varieties of level of it. You must be able to, surely.
Well, Seska knows all about it. Best she pop on.
Yeah, jump on, Seska. Go on, give us a quick heads up about it all so we know what's going on. Let me know if you want link sending.
She's probably having her hair done ready for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I bet everybody's all starting to get to the old panic station now, but all the very best to everybody that is going there to compete, anybody that's going down there to have a look around and have a nosy about. Remember one thing, guys, if you see any fish that are priced up and then you see them discounted, remember if they discounted them that they were overmarked in first place, so that's not a discount. You're actually getting what you should have been paid for in first place. Just a little heads up for you. But yeah, hang about. Tip, if anyone has a surge filter that's not inside, I would go check them, as I got mine today, and the large rubber seal on the single ball valve were all cracked. Good job I'd got spares, or had spares, should I say. Sage filter. Is the Sage filter the whatchamacallit? Tempest. But the new one. Is it?
I've never heard of it.
Is it, Paul? Let me know, mate. That's for sure what the Sage filter is. Yeah, polycarbonate does not let the UV through.
Yeah, it is. It is the evolution aqua new Tempest. Wow.
There we go. Jason's put, I did a non-scientific test. The pond temps rose more on a day when it wasn't covered. And apparently it does block all 98% of UV. Fucking hell, man. My pergola has a polycarb roof, open sides. My pond's sitting at 25 degrees today with ambient of 34.5 degrees.
It's just with the polycarb. That's real interesting though, because
That surprised me that, mate. I didn't realise, because I've just noticed how fucking. But I mean, obviously, I've got glass all the way around it as well, so that's not going to be reflecting it. So that's probably going to be pulling some of the heat in. But I've always thought it was the polycarb roof that made it so fucking hot in here. Maybe not.
No, it's like Sean. Sean's struggling to get his temperature down ready for the show. So he's taken all his polycarb roof off to let the heat get away. But really, we should have kept it on.
Should have put it on more. Thicker layers. Yes, every day is a school day, isn't it? Yeah, learn something new every day, and that's what it's all about. That's why I enjoy doing this, because at the end of the day, you can sit here and have a chat and a conversation and find something out yourself. But I always thought it would have been heat and UV are different. Show them to that. But yeah, you're right, Chris. We are totally different. Heat and UV are totally different. UV being the rays, heat being fucking warm. There we go. That's this one say. Polycarb needs to be UV resistant, otherwise it just crumbles in a couple of seasons. Now then, that makes more sense, Marek. That makes more sense. Being UV resistant, or otherwise, like all forms of plastic, it would just crumble away. Now that makes more sense. When you think about it, really, that does make perfect sense. Or otherwise, there won't be much fucking good, would there?
But that's UV resistant to the material, isn't it?
Yeah. Manic 90, hang about. I'm going to have to put my first one up then. I'm going to have to put my first one up because he's just trying to steal me thunder. There we go, ladies and gents. I thought I'd bring one or two little polls back in. What temps have you been getting in your ponds this week? Who's been getting the biggest, and what have you been getting? So we've got 20 to 23, because I asked this question in my Facebook group, and I was quite surprised. Throughout the country, up and down, there was different temperatures from anything from 23 up to 32, 33 up. So let's see what the majority of people have been getting. That's be interesting to see. There you go, Manic Miner. That helped you with your question, didn't it? There you go. We've got a poll now, so not everybody can actually show what they've been getting. The old widget system works a treat. So, hang about up to press. We've got free from. See there, look, 20. Those that have got the temperatures don't say your address, obviously, but just put in what area you're in. 20 to 23, we've got 3 people. I'm going to say that's Wales area. And then we've got 23 to 26, we've got 8. 26 to 29, we've got 8. And 29 to 32, we've got none or above.
Why have you got 0 on there, though? It says 0%, but you've got a blue line.
It's a light blue line. The dark blue line is...
No, it's dark blue. Dark blue's leading.
No, that's number 3, which is 26 to 29.
Oh, me bad.
Come on, ladies and gents. There's 98 you're watching, and that's nowhere near 98 answers. But I'm just curious as to what difference it's making in those areas as to where those temperatures that are as low as what they are. You'd have thought the vast majority of us up and down, 5 people from 20 to 23 degrees. You'd have thought most people, but then again, they could have shade over, they could have pergolas over, they could have polycarb over. That's making it cooler for those lower temperatures, or SR heat pumps, which are reducing the temperatures.
So my sheds are running at 21, but then the polycarbs, polytunnels are 32 and 33.
What do you reckon the temperatures are going to be at the show in the vats? Bearing in mind that most people now are going to be starting to bring those temperatures down. And as Vince has said there, I've had my SOS heat pump on cooling for the last 3 days, bringing the ponds down from 28.7 degrees, now finally down to 24. What are you going to do, Vince? No, not saying it's going to happen, but what are you going to do if you get there? I suppose coming up, you're not going to be as a couple of degrees, you're not going to be as bad. But if those vats, we've only been a small body of water, but they've always got a constant trickle going through them, haven't they? So they should maintain a reasonable steady temp. Hopefully, when you get there, it is going to be around that 24 mark, 25. But with what they've predicted for the weekend, it's supposed to be hot and it's supposed to be getting some good temperatures. So let's see what you end up.
But good on them. They've actually reduced the number of fish that you can have in each of the vats for that reason. So they're anticipating that the temperatures are going to be higher than normal.
Yeah. So that's what they've actually done that for them to reduce the amount of stress and load on the.
Yeah, so they've reduced the point count and reduced the number of fish that you can have. So I think it's 9 in the smaller vat and 11 in the bigger vat. But I totally get it why they've done it, but it's going to be hard on the people that are generally showing the smaller fish, because obviously smaller fish don't accumulate big points. And you could have seen a situation where, well, if it was points, 46 maximum points, you could have had 40 odd fish in one vat. Now you can only have 11.
Shit.
It's big on that side.
When you think about it that way, yeah. Right, we've got there that most people have seen. We've got Derby, North Wales, Birmingham, Bedfordshire, Hampshire, Kent, Yorkshire. Good man. Suffolk, Kent, Grimsby, Shropshire. Dave puts in his postcode. OX14. What's your mum's maiden name? North East, Sheffield. Seska says she's using hers to keep her water cool at present. 25 to 26, highest with shower on.
Those vats have got to be at 26, 27 come Saturday.
You'd have thought so, wouldn't you? You'd have thought they'd have been raising up and getting hotter. They're saying around 20, apparently, for the vats.
No chance.
Oh, Vince says that there. He's putting, I'm not sure what I'm taking as a still bloody spawning. Shit, man. There's been a lot of people. I mean, over the weekend, even had no next. I had no idea what was happening. I got up went bed Friday night, had dog out, no sign of out. No sign out of on Friday. Got up on Saturday morning and they'd spawned. Tamasapas had all been going for it in mini pond. So I knew there were 2 females to 3 males in there. I knew that but I didn't think there were none really that were looking plump or eggy. But yeah, eggs everywhere. So Monia were spiked like crazy. So I give Filter a good clean because that were all full of them as well. So I give Filter a good clean and then give it a good water change. Give it a bit of a service and a tidy up, and then topped it back up again. But yeah, everything seems pretty good. I left some eggs in there, see what they do. Very much doubt they'll do anything, but they didn't look too bad.
The customer of mine that had the spawning, what was it, a month ago, and didn't catch the ammonia spike. They phoned me today, and I think it was 2 days ago was the last fish that died. They'd lost just under 30 fish in total just through the ammonia.
I wonder if that might have been what happened with Tom's pond as well. Then I wonder if it was a bit of an. I mean, I would have guessed he'd have checked his ammonia and stuff like that. But it's a big ass pond to try to reduce ammonia quickly and straight, rapidly and those temperatures as well. But it was gutted, man. 93 cm Yamabuki. I think it was a 70 plus cm Makashi, and then a 80 cm Karashigoi, all gone, all dead. I mean, a 93 cm Yamabuki, that's a big ass fish, and that takes some replacing, doesn't it? That's not something you really want to see or want to be losing. And I think it were only 5 or 6 year old. It must have been. I mean, it did look upset, but I mean, I'd have been fucking crying, man, if I'd have lost something like that. Especially, it was beautiful and all, beautiful looking fish. But yeah, shame, innit? It's one of these things that there's not always as straightforward and as easy as is made out to sound. It can sometimes just bite you on ass from anywhere.
Well, their pond had 35 years, I think it was, and they'd never ever spawned in the pond. And of course, they go and spawn, and they're like chuffed to nuts, happy days, woohoo! Didn't think about the water.
Well, I think majority of people, if you didn't know that they produce a lot of ammonia when it's doing, and then obviously you got all those eggs that are within a day or two that are starting to go sour and going bad and breaking down and making more shit quality conditions to your water. I bet most people won't even give it a second. Just think, oh yeah, fish are doing what they naturally do, big body of water, everything will be fine. But it just goes to show you really have got to be checking these kind of things and making sure. I mean, on an evening, on a hot, sunny day like this, everybody's going out there and thinking, right, let's see what we've got in stats-wise. We've got 12 people that are looking from 26 to 29 degrees. We've got 11 people that are from 23 to 26 degrees, and we've got 5 people that are 20 to 23, and we've only one person that's either 29 to 32 or above temperature, which is... That's quite a lot of high temperatures, isn't it? That's quite a lot of people. Bring that to an end. It's quite a lot of high temperatures, isn't it? And a lot of people that would be thinking, right, we've got us fish. Temperatures are roaring through. Everything's looking good. You walk down past your pond. If the dog goes out in garden, fish are just wham, straight up to the surface, man. They're going nuts. What do you think you should be doing? Should you be continuing to feed your fish in temperatures? What would you think, if I were to bang this one up, what temperatures do you think you should stop feeding your koi? Or
Guys, let me walk down the polytunnel and I'll show you the fish down there, and they're at 32 and a half and 33. You tell me whether they need feeding.
Well, that's the thing, mate. This is why we're hoping that Rick would have been on and we could have gone through this, because above 28 degrees, above 30, above 32, above 34, at what point do you think, shit, do I stop feeding? Because this is what you were touching on other day, well, earlier on, just before as we started the show.
Yeah. Let me go down there and I'll share.
Because I know yesterday I mixed up a good 30 odd fresh prawns, chopped them up in half, and then I put in like 2 good handfuls of mealworms, and then I banged in a whole good handful and a half of sake balance and colour. And I thought, I'm going to give them a good feed. They're feeding well. I want to see how long it takes them to shift that lot, and it was gone less than 2 minutes. And I thought to myself, well, that's gone, that's been eaten, that's been cleared up. But after I'd fed them that, within a matter of an hour, there were a good few of the bigger ones all packed up on the bottom. So to that point, I thought to myself, Matt on tour. Look at that. Jesus Christ, man. Look at, I mean, when we start getting to these temperatures, I don't know if Matt can hear us, or whether or not it'll tell us whether or not what temperature is actually out there in them now. If you don't, we'll get him when he comes back. But they will feed and they will feed and they will feed and they will feed. Now, it ain't such a bad thing when they're smaller fish. But if you've got that kind of action going on with bigger fish, what temperature are you at, Matt?
32 tonight.
Can't see what that says. It just flickering on numbers.
32 on that one at the moment.
Shit, 32 degrees. Well, when Rick gets in, I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to get him to tell us whether or not, or when or not, we can stop feeding, if we should stop feeding. What's the difference in temperatures inside them in non-polytunnel?
These are 21.5 to 22.
Wow,
No.
massive difference. And look at the difference, though. They're nowhere near as fired up as much as what the others are they? Nowhere near. Totally different reaction, that, isn't it? Although they're still comfortably feeding, that's nowhere near what the other lot are like.
Well, I guess their oxygen content in the water is a lot higher than it would dirt. You know what these are going to go like? The sluggish, big old girls, they won't.
It's mad, isn't it, how they go from being, fingerlings to toe-side to miss-eye, and then you start getting into bigger fish, how they just totally act totally different. So we'll see what Rick does. But I'm pretty sure at some point, when you've got that question about me, let me see what that says there. Hey, Joe, you're good, mate. Wash pump on the drum pack thing. So my lot will be without a fill for 36 hours. Oh shit, man, that's the last thing I want.
I can't hear.
Good evening, Paul. Oh my God. Hope you get it sorted soon, Joe. I've been more concerned about the air temp change from Friday, Saturday to Sunday this week coming for the show. You would think the auction would be prepared by it. Right. Move that one. Sound like an herd of elephants coming in there. Quick question for Paul W. Will you be at the show both days? There you go, Paul W. Just in case, leave that up for now. That Paul, that's going. Good evening, Barbara. Hope you're well. Oh, right, hang about. Which one are we on now? We got you twice.
There's a bit. Look at that. See that?
Get the double echo there, then. Depends on the size of the koi, Stu Pot says. Sonny, shut up. He's gonna start howling. Daft dog. Throw as much sake growth in as you can at 25 if your filters are up to it. Mind you. Why stop feeding? Well, at a certain point, at a certain temperature, your filters require, if you've got a moving bed, they require oxygen so that they can do the nitrifying cycle. And as warmer your water gets, the less oxygen is in your water. So the less oxygen, the more likely that your filtration beneficial bacteria starts to die off, because without oxygen, it can't live and can't survive to do its job. So the knock-on effect from that is your filters start to underperform and you end up with ammonia spikes. When you end up with ammonia spikes, your parameters go all to shit, and then what happens? Sick, ill fish.
Actually, I'm not sure.
I'm not saying at these average temps that we're getting now, but at some point the more you keep banging in and the more hotter your water gets, eventually you start to get a decreasing quality of your filter being able to do its job.
The other thing that we always do, I got an echo, yes.
You got what?
Echo.
Yeah, I noticed. Right, I'll keep this one out. Keep from studio just instead.
Hello. Hello.
I've got you in. Right, kick that one from studio too. I had you in 3 times then. Right, does that get rid of the echo? Got you now. So yeah, I'm not saying oh this. I'm not saying that at normal temperatures, but at high level temperatures, it can be detrimental. Right, he's back. I think Rick's having his on. So people, right, what temperature do you think you should stop feeding your koi? Above 28, above 30, above 32, above 34? Let's see. Let's see what Rick says. For now, I'll just take that down, but we'll come back to it. But we've got 5 people, I think, above 28. 12 people that think above 30. We've got none that think above 32 and 1 person that thinks above 34. The reason why I put this question in, guys, is I'm pretty sure that I heard Rick say above 30 degrees, we're not feeding anymore. No more food. Stop feeding them.
It's higher than that, definitely.
Well, I think he said when Vince, I'm sure Vince said something along the lines of, what, 30 degrees? Depends on the size of the fish.
Yeah, definitely.
And that being the bigger the fish, the more oxygen it requires. And obviously, the more you're feeding, when it gets to a night, there's less oxygen in there, and your algae and plants or anything in there starts to consume and use the algae. There's less oxygen then for your fish to be able to breathe.
So Rick said
food as well.
Rick said to me years ago when I built the polytunnel, make sure that you have your air pump outside of the polytunnel. And there's 2 reasons behind that. One, obviously, you don't want to be pumping hot air into the pond, and 2, that your oxygen levels of the air is going to be lower.
Yeah, than the inside of your polytunnel, because your polytunnel is going to be like 56 degrees ambient temperature.
And the carbon monoxide that's in there as well, that's already been produced. You want fresh, clean air going in there.
Graham reckons there, reducing considerably the food and increased filtration / water changes. Let's see what Rick says when he comes back, when he comes in, when he gets here.
He's probably shot off to go and get the crisp ready for the weekend.
Yeah, probably might be trying to sort his hair out. Could take some time, ladies and gents. Man, I love that. That's in it. I'll have some Bonnie Bugger with that one. I mean, it's had some cool colours, man. Has he actually dyed the sides white and then the top red, or is that
no
at the sides?
Yeah, does he?
I don't know. It looked like I couldn't tell completely on Vince's video of a day. So I watched on his live. So I watched his video, but he had a fucking hat on, so I couldn't tell. And then he dipped his head in water anyway, so you couldn't tell what he'd had or one way or other. Peter says 2 of mine stop feeding at the hottest part of the day. See, this is what made me wonder. When you go fishing as a coarse fisherman or an angler or whatever, a carp fisherman, when you go fishing, you get to a certain hottest part of the day. Fishing always stops. It always knocks on head. They never seem to catch until it starts to cool down. Earlier hours at morning, latter hours at evening. And in between, at the hottest point of the day, you see most of the fish are just basking and relaxing, don't seem to be feeding all that much.
But when is the lowest oxygen levels?
Throughout the night. Evening, yeah.
The evening. So that doesn't...
See, when you're, as an angler, you'd get your best night's fishing would be throughout the evening.
Yeah, the witching hour, isn't it? Yeah. Which
is crazy to think, isn't it, that in a pond, it has the opposite effect. Small koi feed up to 33, large koi at 30. That's what I think too, mate. You should stop feeding at temps over 30 because less O2 in the pond and the digestion takes O2 from the koi. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult for him to digest in hotter temperatures as well. So that food can lay heavy in the stomachs, making it a lot more. A lot of people start to switch and change from growth in high temperatures and start feeding easier digestible foods like wheat germ again. Don't know if that's right, but it's something I read today, and I thought, I wonder if that's true. I wonder if that's got any general truth behind it.
It's weird, isn't it? All these little theories, and they do actually make sense, don't they?
Hey, you think? Yeah, I mean, it's you know, when you're eating, if it's red hot, you don't want a big fat heavy meal. You don't want to be eating a Sunday dinner, do you? Today, you want something light, a nice salad or whatever with a little bit of chicken or whatever. You don't want to be ramming down a great big massive Sunday dinner or something really hot, because it just makes you feel hotter, and then you feel a laggy and you feel even worse, don't you? So I mean, who knows? Let's see what Rick says when he gets in. That question, Gaz, depends on your setup, filter, O2 input, etc. It does, mate, but if you're running your filter and you think, right, now it's red hot and it's summer and I'm putting in maximum oxygen, unless you're introducing more, there's only a limited amount of saturated oxygen you can get into warm water, regardless.
And when was the last time you tested your oxygen levels?
I haven't, mate. Never have. Never could. I've always tried to give them as much as I possibly can, physically do. My moving bed has been turned up to maximum, so it's rolling. I mean, it's boiling over like a little bit more than what it probably really should be. Not loads, but instead of it being a steady rolling boil, it's more of a agitated rolling boil. Just so that there's more oxygen in there, because the warmer the water going through, obviously, the more the media uses it to do its job, the less that comes out as it returns, and then maximum going in the pond all the time. But yeah, I mean, filter, if you've got a modern day filter, all filters, or the full nitrogen cycle requires oxygen, regardless to whatever your filter is. It still requires oxygen. Interesting, though, eh? Twins. I just twigged what that. I could have had triplets. Question for Matt: what time you arriving tomorrow?
Well, the alarm clock is set for 5 o'clock in the morning. First point of call will be down at Sean's, 6 o'clock. Then over to Ollie's, I'm hoping for 8 o'clock. Then up to Shaftesbury, and I hope to be away from there by 9:30. So I reckon 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If we do it for them, I'll be happy. But I'll send you a picture of it, Gaz. Sean did a test today because we were worried about the temperatures. Let me see. Where's it gone to? There you go. So we did a test today. He filled up one of his boxes and left it in the sun all day, and the temperature didn't change. It was still exactly the same.
Well, I think I still had the picture of that bed up on.
You can tell Sean's a carpenter, can't you?
That's pretty damn smart, mate, that, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's made them for every one of his fish, all relevant to the size. But he left it literally with normal water in there, and then tested it tonight, and he said temperature hadn't changed.
Happy days.
Yeah, it's a good result. But they've all of them have been in competition with each other. I got one of them, Graham and Helen, that have made a trolley that they can literally put the boxes on and walk across the showground with. And then obviously Sean's been doing the boxes. His wife Sarah's been doing the painting. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they perform.
Yeah, will. I wonder how heavy they are. Empty.
I reckon about 2.5 kilos.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's
when you actually think about it, our nail box is next to nothing, but 2.5 kilos on top of the water.
Yes,
I'm sure we can do it.
Yeah, And they look, to be fair, they look smart as hell, then, man.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive, then. Nice one.
Yeah.
Jonathan says the Japanese are laughing at these 30 degrees C limits. I'm not saying there's a limit, mate. I'm asking you guys. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to say that there is a limit, but I'm pretty sure it all depends. I mean, you say Japanese are laughing at these 30 degree C limits. Would they be if they had 2,000 tosai in a 20,000 gallon pond?
Well, guys, what happened last year in Japan? They never got the rain. They couldn't feed it. They couldn't feed the fish because they had too much temperature.
They literally just left them. So I bet that, although they might be laughing at the 30 degrees limit, they didn't get the rains last year to keep topping up the ponds, and the ponds ended up to the point where they couldn't feed the fish, so they didn't get the growth on them. So maybe they're not. Who knows? And Mark, why, guys, these questions are like torture. Got no koi at the moment. I'm feeling like that. Why? What's that? I know you've been saying you've been going to do a new build. I'm guessing you've got rid of everything to do the build then. No way. You kind of, well, you don't flogged everything. Let me know. Can't have done, man. You bought tons. I've just had massive fish and chips. I couldn't eat fish and chips. I've had a Caesar salad yesterday and a chicken and ham salad today, and I did have a little spag bowl for my dinner though today. But I was sat eating that thinking, I'm fucking boiling here, man. This is not good. Prefer to have something nice and cool. What do people pay as a carry fees to put koi in mud ponds at 30 degrees plus? They do, yeah. But those volumes of water have got significantly less fishing to the volume of water than what we've got in our ponds.
And the continual water change.
Yeah, so it's all relevant.
It's not trickle in, trickle out.
It's not just literally 400, 500, 600 fish in a small vat. There are 20 in a fucking hell, God knows how many thousands and thousands and thousands of litres there must be in the mud ponds with constant spring water running through them. So, again, it's relevant, isn't it? And Royston Booth says, evening all. Good evening. Now then, hang about. Me and Gaz spoke about filters and oxygen the other day. We did, mate, yeah. And it makes, at least Lee's been having a couple of his fish that he says have been looking a little bit sulky, and just not the normal active self. He's increased the oxygen flow into his pond by adding some more extra air stones, and he's literally gone and perked all his fish right up. No problem. You're talking about when you stop feeding in inferior insufficient systems, then yeah. Well, no, I mean, even in nature, mate, if temperatures exceed a certain amount, then the fish are going to be having detrimental conditions for them. If a lake starts getting to 40, 50, 45 degrees, 50, 60 degrees, before you know it, there's naff all oxygen in there, and all those fish are bellied up and dead. Now then, here he is.
Oh my word! Do not check into the room. You are not coming in my room. What the hell have you done?
Have you not seen this?
No. Oh my God.
You have done the white at the sides as well, haven't you?
That's
you have.
The white bit's natural. What?
No, it's pink.
I mean, I've done a couple of polls, Rick, while we were waiting, just so we can show it. What temperature do you? This is for everybody to ask. What temperature do you think you should stop feeding your koi? Above 28, above 30, above 32, above 34. The reason why I put this in because I heard you and Vince talking about it on either his video or his live the other day. Now, at what point and what is the difference I'll put this one up and start this one as well, so you can hang about. Stop that one. The vast majority of people put above 30 degrees. 12 people said above 30 degrees, and we had one that said above 34 and 6 that said above 28. Sorry. But at what point or what stage? First of all, anyway, everything all right? You were.
Yeah, just one of them, isn't it?
Nothing bad happened. We're all good then, mate. Don't worry about it. It's what it is.
Long week, mate.
Did you get a sneaky pint in?
I have had a sneaky pint. But
Good man. There we go. Happy days. It's all good then, isn't it?
yeah. The temperature you start feeding the fish at is fish size relative.
Knew it. So, right. There you go then, ladies and gents. Does it make a difference when you're feeding on a hot day if your koi are 70 to 90 cm?
100%, yeah. Yeah, so today our hottest pond was 40 degrees water temperature, and the fry in it are absolutely fine.
40?
But that would kill a big fish all day long. So, yeah, the amount of oxygen the water can hold, and obviously it depends on the amount of algae and aeration and everything else. But yeah, bigger fish can take the oxygen in a worse rate. So the gill area of a 60 centimeter fish and a 90 centimeter fish is pretty much the same. So they can exchange gases at the same rate. Yet a 90 centimeter fish might need 4 times more oxygen to digest its food and to survive. So it is in a worse situation immediately. So yeah, it's very, very small fish, young fish can tolerate high temperatures a lot better. But big fish, yeah, the bigger the fish are, the lower the temperature. See, if I had a pond of jumbo koi, I wouldn't want to be taking them over 25, period.
Wow.
A lot of people have got heaters, air source heaters on their ponds to keep it at 23, 24 to grow them. You also want it set so it chill the pond if it goes above that. Because you
I noticed yesterday my pond at 28 degrees, and I fed them in the morning when it were cool. And I'm talking like 7:30 in the morning when it were nice and cool. I fed them. They come up. They look pretty much like what yours did, Matt. Not as crazy, but they did go pretty mad. And then it come to about half past 11. 11 o'clock-ish, and I thought I'll give them another feed. So I give them some fresh prawns, I give them some mealworms, and I give them some sake balance. And I wanged it all in, and I thought, right, wang it all in and watch how long it takes. 2 minutes, probably maybe just a twitter over, 2 minutes, and it'd gone. The lot, they'd eaten everything. And it was a good amount of food. And I thought, well, that's good. They're clearing up that amount of food in that time. So I know that when I do start putting my feeder on again, which I'm not going to be putting it on right now, because in my opinion, that amount of feed going in, if all goes wrong, that's a lot of dead fish. So it's not going on until these temperatures chill out a little bit. So I thought, well, see how they could go. And I came out about 3/4 of an hour, and I'm just later on to sit aside the pond and have a look and think, I'll have a look at them. And all the bigger ones, I don't know, mine aren't massive, but there's some that are pushing up to the back end at 50s now. And all those ones were all packed up on bottom, nice and just chilling in shade under trees. But they were all packed, not right on the bottom, but they were pretty. Rest of them were all cruising around and steaming around everywhere. And I thought, I wonder if that were a little bit too much food for them in the temperatures, because it was as hot as what it was. And it was obviously by that time getting hotter and hotter and hotter. It just made me wonder whether or not, when I came in then later on and watched your video, I thought, shit, I wonder if I've fed it when it was a bit too warm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you'll be all right. But the problem lies in big fish, and you feed them and they eat a lot. We've all had a whitey, haven't we? We've all been there and overdone it on a Sunday roast, and then just can't get enough oxygen in. But a big fish is literally, the higher the temperature, the more of a knife edge they're on. And yeah, if they eat too much, then they've got to take on a lot more oxygen. They just can't do it. So
on an average fish then, Rich, say 30, 40 cm, when would you stop feeding?
Again, depends on the pond, the amount of stock density, the aeration, the algae. I think it's one of those. I think it's all relative. Back to the old days, isn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't. So at the minute, I'm going out feeding some ponds and not feeding others purely because of the size of the fish and the algae content and all the other stuff. So I'm making a judgment. But yeah, the ponds today that's a new record for us. That's just obscene temperatures. In the pond, and there comes a point where you just can't. We're covering the polytunnels in clays and limes to shade them, covering it. There's all sorts of shit we're doing, but it just builds and builds. And yeah, luckily we've not really lost anything yet, but we're right on a. It would only take, touch wood, like a power failure for a few hours tonight, where those temperatures, and it would just be an absolute carnage.
I saw somebody that lost the whole pond of grow-on stock in one of the Facebook groups, and that was literally down to a power cut. He had a power cut out for some reason, somewhere or another, and literally within a few minutes of noticing it, his fish were all bellied up and dead. But they also had a feeder going. That feeder were banging food, and it were all over the surface at pond too.
Yeah, the food on the ponds is what's inside them that's the problem. So, yeah, if a fish is starved, obviously its oxygen demand's a lot lower than if it's got a belly full of food.
Yeah,
and the more fish you eat, it's just it's a multiplier, isn't it? Dangerous times.
Yeah, we all pray for the good weather. Then when the good weather comes, you can start opening up another can of worms, can't it? It can make shit really get to the point where you think, fucking hell, it's getting hot. I mean, unbearable to sit out in, and they're all cruising around in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's mad because most of the ponds are just absolutely climbing out of the water for food.
Yeah,
they're in what they would deem the perfect scenario, but yeah, you start feeding them at that temperature, you might get away with it, but then you might have a sultry night, a bit of thunderstorm, or a power cut, or an airline blow off, or what. There's so many. Honestly, the things.
The perfect storm.
I went up in the last 2 days. I've had two. One of my tunnels, a filter was starting to back up and overflow, so I cleaned it all out. Like, right, I needed doing. I should have done that ages ago. Needed doing. And I went to the next one. I was like, well, actually, I just clean the sponges and do whatever. Just did a bit. It was all right. Just doing that. Come back a couple of hours later. One of the sponges has somehow flipped up and covered the outlet, which has never happened before. And it's probably me tampering with it that's created it. That's then overflowed it, dropped the level. And the fish are literally flapping around getting cooked at God knows what temperature. Got away with it. That's a lucky one. That's one of those things that how's that possibly happened? I don't know, but I'll make sure that can't happen again. And today I've gone up and we've got black liners over the bars to create some shade in some of them. And somehow one of the liners come out and dropped enough to hang down into a chamber and then get sucked against a 3-inch pipe where the water flows through and drops the level of so obviously the pump's pumping into a set on the bio. And the sheets managed to drop down enough just to hang in and then get sucked again. It's like, just destination, how that could possibly happen. It's like unbelievable.
At that particular point in time, and it being the perfect thing to fuck everything up.
So that's literally, and then shut the water through to the bio, which shut the water back to the pond. So the pond's literally pumping itself down. It's building up and overflowing out the overflow. And it's like, that just couldn't happen. But it has happened. It's literally just happened. But it's like, that can't, just, I don't know. It's one of those scenarios. The wind, you think someone would be in there and done it.
It's always the case, isn't it? You start doing something. I thought, well, I'll go out there and I'll just have a little bit of sorting out in filter shed. And I moved a set of ladders. and I dinked my waste valves. I only tapped it against it. Next thing you know, I thought, where's that fucking water coming from? It was just a drip, drip, drip. And then all of a sudden it's like going trickle, 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 trickle. And I thought, what the hell? And just because I'd knocked it, the rubber seal just created that little bit of a flex to it and it started leaking on barrel. So I had to get all the media out of moving bed, bang it in my koi ball with water in it, and then tighten up the nut just to tweak it back up to stop it from leaking and put it all back in again. It's like you don't necessarily have to be doing something for it to cause a problem for something else to become an issue. If I'd have left it going, I reckon, I'd have lost a good fair few inches out of pond come following morning if I'd have not noticed it.
It is one of those, isn't it? It just, these things happen. That's why if you check regular, you're right. But you sod's law, you do something before you go away on holiday, and that thing you do to make it all right creates another problem you didn't see happening. It's like you do something over there on the workbench, and something catches light, goes up a wire, comes across, knocks a switch, electrocutes the fish. It's just mental. But yeah, that's what, I don't know. You learn from it. You make it foolproof, but then
there's no such thing, is there? It's like
Paul Cunningham says he's turning off his feeder now. Never thought I'd say that.
It was like last year, wasn't it, when my RCD tripped and I lost all those fish, reset the RCD, and it hasn't tripped ever since.
Yeah. No. Over the years, we've had a big fancy goldfish block of 3-inch pipe. The only way it had to be the perfect size to block the pipe, and then obviously dropped the chamber. The heating element caught fire and burnt down literally a whole research system, just because of one big fat fancy goldfish that was big enough to block a 3-inch pipe.
Was it Tamasaba?
They didn't exist then, but yeah, it was a big fat
that type of.
So that was why we haven't had them for a little while. We've had so many. We've had lightning strike at Nick's that fried the fuse boards when I was in Spain. Literally, the 1 24-hour period there wasn't someone there was the day that happened. Fried a load. It's just mental.
And it's always the ones that you really didn't want them to be an all when it happens. That's the irony of it all. When something goes wrong, it's nearly always the one that you didn't want to lose that you end up losing.
Yeah, I think that's just part and parcel, isn't it? If one jumps out, it's the one you've told your grandkids or something that's their fish. Whatever.
It's like you last year with that one that you fought and you named it, and that one the following morning it was there on floor done.
Yeah, 200 fish or whatever, and I named one Terry because he was a bit special. And he jumped out of a gap. He must have literally skimmed all his scales off to get out of the hole to land on the floor and kill himself. It's like he obviously didn't like the name Terry.
Lee Oliver says, Ricardo, I want one of those yellow yammies.
Yellow yammy. Does he? I don't know.
I was telling him the other day that you got some gin ring going on, and Vince was showing them over there on Little Fry. They're growing, they're doing pretty well, aren't they? They're coming on those.
It's like buses, isn't it? We did 4 spawnings of Ginrin Yamabukis, and 3 didn't really produce, and there's enough from 1 to have got by with. And then I did another spawning with a Deutz Harawaki, and I thought I'll just put the Ginrin Yamabuki with it, make some Aragoki, and I reckon I got 20,000 Ginrin Yamabukis, all waggly. It's like, oh no.
Oh, bastard. I hope you were going to say that you had some Aragoki ones, and I'm going to say, I'm going to have one of them.
Well, there probably will be, but there's a lot more waggly than Aragoki.
Have you got any of your cheeky monkeys? Have you done any of them this year?
No.
Bastard. Have you got any this side?
Yeah, there's a few bigger ones about.
Nice one.
Yeah, we've not done, because we've got so much brown and blue type stuff. We've not done any.
We shall have a talk after the show then about one of them. Might get you.
You're not staying up late. Matt's got to get up early.
No. I'm not staying up late, mate. Either. No,
definitely not.
You guys have got to be. You're up and off and away early doors, aren't you? So you got to be away.
I'm not, mate. I'm going to work tomorrow. Friday. I've got to do a day's work before you leave.
Is your phone working now, Rick?
Not really, no. I'm back on it. I've literally, had a nightmare. I don't know what I did to it, but it destroyed it. And then I can't get none of the other stuff back. So I put it into different phones, but I've lost so much stuff.
What happened to your phone?
too hot in my pocket, sweat dripping down it in the tunnel. I don't know. It just went absolutely
just
batty and then dead. So
Killed it.
yeah, there's people out there. I'm sorry I've not responded or whatever, but I've even tried to get like Telegram and WhatsApp and stuff back, but there's like gaps. It's like information missing, people are missing.
Well, it depends on when last time you backed it up.
Yeah. So
if you do a weekly or a daily, then you end up with your storage in your phone.
I haven't. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Sure, they'll contact you again, mate, if they really need you.
By then I'll have a different phone because this one doesn't last. But yes.
We're all the same though, mate. When it gets to these kind of temperatures, it only takes to leave it on a surface for 5 minutes and the damn thing's overheated, doesn't it? But you've got to remember that everybody looks as a mobile phone. I think it's a mobile phone. It's not a mobile phone. It's a miniature PC. So if you're bearing in mind that when you're using a laptop and you've got it on a surface and it's a hot day, within a matter of hours, it'll be absolutely boiling, can end up shutting down. But you think all that's being compacted into a 4 or 5 mil, 6 mil thick casing and everything on top of that with your cameras and all the rest of the shit that they've got in them. It's surprising they actually work as long as they do anyway.
So I said to Ezra about it, and I said, like, my phone's there, it's got water in it. He goes, yeah, but new phones are water cooled, aren't they? I'm like,
water cooled?
I'm like, mate.
I mean, it could be possible because, I mean, they do water cooled systems on PCs, so, and a laptop. You can get them, but I don't know if they are on a mobile.
But yeah, it didn't work anyway. Sweat and water don't help your phone. Marco, is he there? Is he there at the weekend?
He's away. I don't know. He has been away because he's sunburnt, isn't he?
Marco, what's cracked with fish then? What have you had to do, mate? Have you? Because I know he posted something other day and he said, "I'll give you a fancy goldfish fix." And he showed a tank full of
fish, didn't he?
I think he has. Yeah, I think he's. I'm guessing that's until such time as they change their mind, or there's no worse, is there? If you got an hobby that keeps you entertained, and on the straight and narrow, and you end up having to lose it because of circumstances that are out of your own control.
I don't know. They might have said the balcony was going to collapse on the I don't know. That's He
got rid of him quick though, didn't he? To see if he did get rid of him, he moved him on fast.
A lot of people out there want stuff, isn't there? Decent fish.
A lot of fish that were growing on, wasn't it? That's his buzz out of it, isn't it? Rick, Paul says, love the
cerise
pink in the hair.
Mate, this is crimson. It said on the box crimson.
Wait, I am not going anywhere near. Oh my God.
Is there anything, Rick and Matt, if you've got, I mean, I've never done it, so I ain't got a clue, so I'm not even going to or is there anybody that would like to sit and have a join us or have a natter and a chat with us and let us know what you would need to be doing in preparation for getting your fish ready tomorrow morning? Or do you want to talk us
get them in bags without breaking them?
Well, not tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, well, I suppose, you'll be benching tomorrow, won't you?
Be packing up early doors, mate.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to the hotel before Matt, booking in as a gay lover.
Yeah. You know what they're saying, Rick?
Mr. Howe.
Oh, I remember you from last year.
Yeah. Where's this fucking handle?
This is camouflage. They will never know it's me.
They will.
Have I missed? Oh, there, Jonathan's put in there. Crazy Brits. It's too hot. It's too cold. It's too wet. It's too dry. Never happy unless you're stood in a long queue. Crazy Brits. Why is it everybody thinks that we're perfectly happy to be stood in a queue?
Well, people queue for anything, don't they? If you just stand there, when someone stands behind you, see what you're waiting for.
I think the best place, the most, Japan's going to be one of the places that I think they're the most happiest to stand in a queue. And not only in a queue, they're perfectly fucking
in their place in the queue.
Yeah, perfectly in a queue without no disturbance and no umming and ahhing, no shouting, no talking, no discussing, just perfect true line.
And with 4 yards in between each person.
Yeah, as if some bastard just got a yardstick out and put it between them.
Could you imagine though those Japanese people that stand for the train in their aisle in the thing? It's all set out in there. So if you're getting on that carriage, you're in that line.
Yeah.
You're stood that far away, so the people that can come out can go that way, and you go that way, and you wait till your turn to go that way. And they come to England and get to Waterloo or something, and they're like,
You're like, "Whoosh!"
Anyway,
What's going on? Yeah, I reckon they'd be pretty shocked.
we got told off for putting one of our bags outside the line of the queue line or whatever, and they're like, "You got to be inside your thing and all lined up."
You know what? I think there's, out of all the etiquette and all the rest of it, and all the manners and how people are offended, this, that, better, and other. I mean, this talk that over in Japan, they really hate people covered in tattoos. They don't like it. They assume, the older generation, that people that are covered in tattoos are normally part of the mafia and all the rest of it. But it couldn't be any further from the truth, man. I mean, I know that they do have stuff like this. If you've got lots of tattoos and all that kind of thing, that there's certain gyms for you to go to because they don't like to see people's bodies exposed and all the tattoos out. There are the older generation that aren't too particular about it. But when you see that all that stuff like on a train, you're not supposed to sit there talking and having a conversation. I'm not you know what I mean? Because I've seen plenty of people that were on trains when we were over there that were talking away. All right, quietly, respectfully. There were no.
Oh, Matt got told off for that.
yeah, I did. That's what I was laughing at. We were coming back from Nagata, back to
on the shuttle, on the what is it? The high speed train.
on the bullet train. And Pam was trying to get hold of me, and I was like, "Why is she phoning me? Like the only time she's going to phone me is if there's a problem." And she said, "Babe, the Tantra showers just jumped out the main pond. I just found it." So I had to talk her through on the phone what to do. This fish had been out God knows how long. So I was explaining to her, cradle the net, put the fish in, put the oxygen at the front end, and all this. And some Japanese man came up to me and went, "Shh, shh." Yeah, and then walked away, and I was like, "Sod that! This is my Tantra shower." So I'm carrying on talking, and then he come back over and he went, "Shh, shh." You not
think? I mean, for us, would you not think that was more rude to walk up to someone and shush them than the person talking?
Yeah, to us, yeah, but they've got their rules.
Is more of a rude thing than.
Yeah, but if they got a rule, you got to abide by that rule. Full stop.
Is it a rule, or is it?
There's no rules about shitting people.
Is it an actual rule, or is it etiquette?
No, it says no mobile phones. It does say.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you're not allowed to use mobile phones. No music. I got told off.
But why do they have Wi-Fi on fucking train then?
No, you can use it to do stuff, but you just can't speak.
Can't be on it to have a conversation.
Just put it on speaker. Oh, hi, how you doing?
Well, they must have loved it when Jeff were on there then, because he was snoring like fuck, man. He was rattling windows. He was shocking, and he were asleep within about 30 seconds at train setting off, all the way through to damn near last 10 minutes before getting off.
Nothing like going to another country, is there? See what's outside the window.
I don't. If you do a lot of, I've been watching a lot of bits and bats on Japan. There's freaking millions of houses in Japan, and I think
there's millions of houses in Japan.
No, millions of abandoned empty houses that you can get for people have literally just walked out of them, left the belongings and everything in there for whatever reason. But same with abandoned cars and vehicles, motorbikes and all sorts. They're all, because they get charged so much for recycling and stuff like that to get rid of a vehicle that's there. It's cheaper for them to just fucking leave it than
it's registered that someone comes after them for it.
Yeah, well, you'd think so, but there's vehicles that have been there for fucking 20, 30 years.
We're not allowed to drive them after 7 years old or something, are they?
When they get to a certain point, a certain age, a certain thing, they're a lot more difficult to get through all tests and everything. But yeah, it's I forgot what they call them.
That's the same as in the Falklands now. If you go over there, there's places where the military vehicles are still there from when the Argentinians invaded.
Yeah,
they literally just
the Argentinians invaded their own island.
I know.
I mean, you can get an house over there, like a 2 3-bedroomed house in Japan, for less than 15 grand.
You can't buy a fish out there for that. What you want?
That's what surprised me. Some of the prices out there for some of the houses that people have walked up. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them are absolutely fucking destroyed, and you're just getting the land. But
Most
you
of
can
them are
actually
in,
get it. Yeah,
is
you
it
can actually get
Fukushima?
it for next to nothing. No, no,
No, they're not by the nuclear plant.
Acacia houses, I think it's called. They're all the houses, but there's millions of them. Millions of them.
Keisha, isn't that the women?
That's
No,
geisha.
that's Acacia.
Silent G.
I'm sure that's how it's pronounced. But they've got tons and tons and tons of them. I've been watching a few of them. There's like a young lad that I've just started watching his channel. He bought an house over there. And he's when he bought the property, I think he got it for 20 grand. And he bought himself a Harley, and he bought himself a Jimmy. Is it Jimny? Like a 4x4? And he got all the lot, everything, all done, sorted and finalised and everything for like 35 grand, all job lot. Car got dropped at a station for him to pick up, and he drove to his new house. But when he got there, the only thing that he asked the people that he bought the house through, the estate agents, so to speak, was to make sure that they emptied the fridges out because there was the storage. But I mean, literally everything in that house, clothing, cleaning products, tools, TVs, fish tanks, everything, you name it, the lot, everything was still left in the house. And he's been gradually going through it all day, emptying it all out, taking it all out and cleaning it all up. But there's tons and tons and tons of these houses like that.
I'm worrying about where these people are disappearing, mate. If they left their clothes and their fish behind.
I wanted to know where the actual family had gone or where all these people are going. But a lot of them, when their houses of elderly have passed on, the house value of them is next to nothing. It's not really worth doing much to get them to a sellable amount because they just don't get the money back. So they just stick them on the market for next to no. Crazy. I'm sure it's Keisha. I'm sure they're called Keisha houses. Have a look, Google it. Have a good look on YouTube. There's tons of it. There's hundreds of people doing them on videos, doing them all up.
What's the point of doing them up if they're worthless? I don't get it.
Well, when you think about for like the lads from New Zealand or Australia, one or two, and to buy a property over there, what he's got over at home would have cost him about 170 grand, and he got it over there for 35 grand with the two vehicles.
There's got to be a reason, isn't there? Location. I don't know.
It looks like a beautiful place, and he's only an hour and a half drive from Tokyo. Oh.
I don't know what you've been watching, Gaz. I'm just reading what a geisha house in Japan is.
Yeah, it's not brothel by.
Hang on. I didn't say geisha. I said K.
Ah,
It's you that's on about geishas. Geishas are the women, aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah, but this is geisha. I'm sure it's hang about. I'll tell you.
Probably means abandoned house.
Shitloads of them, though. There's absolutely tons of them over there. Tons and tons of them.
God knows. Rather than sending all the refugees from here to, was it Uganda or wherever they were sending them, or we could just send them over to Japan. They could get some housing, do them up.
The older generation don't want to be farmers and live in the city, and the younger generation want to be living in cities and stuff. Yeah, mate, that's a lot of it to do with it as well. And the older the people that are passing away and dying, then the younger generation don't want those houses and don't want to take them on. I'm sure it's called.
Yeah, just reading there. Currently, Japan has an estimated 9 million vacant houses, making up roughly 15% of the houses in Japan. That's big, isn't it?
That's a lot of houses, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You think a
Let's
normal
start
street.
the next immigration. England.
I think we should all do one to Japan. One, we could all have a mud pond in his back garden, and we could start our own businesses, growing and selling koi. Rick, we should do it.
Mate,
When
Mike said, Yume Koi was like, I'm off to Japan to buy a house and set up a fish farm. I didn't realise he was doing it because it was that cheap. I thought he was like getting the business market going. Jesus.
That's nuts. You imagine a normal street, 100 houses in it, and you've got 15 of them that are all empty, abandoned.
Not in the city.
Yeah, there is, though.
That can't be right.
There is there's houses, cars, and everything. This lad's he's got nearly 100,000 subscribers following. He's literally going around like centers of Tokyo and cities in Japan, showing all these abandoned vehicles that are worth. It's like a £98,000 Porsche that's not moved for like. Well, that's how much was when it was produced. 98 grand, and it hasn't moved for 10 years. It's still parked in the same place, covered in shit, muck, and dust and everything. And it's in immaculate mint condition. Nobody's touched it. Nothing. The only thing that looks like there's something wrong with it is a Perry sunroof on this car.
In Tokyo, there's 1 million vacant abandoned houses.
There you go. See, Tokyo, 1 million abandoned vacant houses. A million.
How could I just blow my mind?
It blew my mind, mate, when I was watching it. I'm like, no way, this can't be right. And it is. Where the fuck's it gone? I've lost the lad's channel.
Is immigration into Japan, can they, is it like a, I don't know, is that a legal thing? Do they let people go in there? I suppose they're not tolerant of other cultures, so maybe they don't.
No, they're pretty tight when we go in, aren't they? But I think that's probably
Pretty tight when we go.
that's probably looking at your hair and going like, shit, do we want something like that coming in Tokyo?
There you go, guys, because I know a lot of you do watch anything and everything that's all over YouTube, but there you go. There's the lad's channel, Jack's Adventures, and he literally is restoring an abandoned house I bought in Japan mountains.
There we go. Is there a link? Have you just put it up?
What's it like living in a $19,000? That's what it cost in US dollars. 19,000 abandoned house in Japan countryside.
Scary as shit.
You got it for 19 grand.
I don't know.
Did they come with a guy's account? No, they're nowhere near any of that area, mate. But yeah, I imagine there would be a lot of them over there too. But yeah. Something different for you to watch. I've been finding it quite interesting. Not so much that. I mean, this lad's absolutely rammed in tattoos everywhere, and his people have been saying on his channel like, you ain't going to get positive. You know, people aren't going to be responding to you well because of all your tattoos, because of mafia over there, blah 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 blah. And he's like walking around, everybody's nice as pie. People coming to meet him all the way around him, all older generation coming to say hello and bringing him gifts and stuff like that. And he's
all scared of him.
Maybe that's fine. They're all shitting themselves. I think mafia's moving. We'll go take him some strawberries.
Ollie's got plenty of tattoos over him, and I can't think of any time when we were even conscious of it.
Ah, I didn't think it were a thing that over there, but that apparently that's anyway. Yeah, there you go.
I guess it all depends who you are. If you're a Japanese person and you're covered in tattoos, it may be different to a Europe person going on with tattoos.
I think those days are gone, aren't they, where a lot of people just look down at people because they got tattoos and all that shit. But I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's individual out there and do whatever they want to do nowadays, don't you? Just, break the mold, be a bit different, dye your hair fucking red.
No one would do that.
Rick, come look at this. Go look at Rick's hair, man. It's lit. Oh, she's gone. She's upstairs. She missed it. But yeah, there you go. There's Jack's.
It's not red though, is it?
Crimson.
I'm tempted to get my money back from the shampoo.
Hey, Andrew says there in Japanese culture, it's common when older persons die that they just lock the doors and leave it for years. Yeah, pink.
Well, there you go. Look. So back in the day, we used to send people to Australia, didn't we? Now we should be sent to Japan.
Would if you could move to another country and set up your koi business again, Rick? Would you? Would you do it anywhere else? If if you could take family and all that kind of thing, right time, right place, all that kind of shit. Would you rather be doing what you're doing now somewhere else than UK?
I think I kind of, yeah. Somewhere like Thailand would be great, wouldn't it? Because the cost of living, the client, everything about the place is amazing. But if you actually lived there year round, that sort of hot, yeah, I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. England's quite special, isn't it? Why do so many people want to live? I know we all moan about it, but it's a green and pleasant land, isn't it?
There's lots of things when you think about. We can walk down the road. You don't have to. You don't have to worry it all. Do you? Just get up in the morning, get dressed, you put your shoes and walk out the door. In some countries, man, you got to check your shoes before you even put your foot in there in case there's something in there that's going to have a bite you, sting you, or fucking kill you. I mean, just the simple fact that there's that many different types of predators out in all the other countries would be something that I'd be more. And there are though, aren't there? You know, you've got some areas that if you're not careful, if you're going for a nice walking countryside, that a mountain lion's going to rip your fucking head off. But
oh, come on, no, I don't think you're pretty much right.
Yeah, I know it's.
I think the climate. A lot of places I've been around the world. There's periods of the year that are nice, but then that's what England's the same, isn't it? Nepal was somewhere I did think about, but there's no market for the fish. But it's a lovely place. But yeah, Thailand's another one. There's certainly no, not really.
What about you, Matt? Would you think about upping everything and taking your business that you do now to do it in another country?
No, but
No.
the one country I do, the one country I do love, and I'm just getting the stats up. Then, one country I do love is France, and love it. But the UK, 15% of each house, 15% of the people have a garden pond, where in France is only 2%.
You've got to change. You've got to change the mentality.
I know. So if you change the mentality, you imagine the scope in France to make a buck or two.
Well, all the English are out there with their carp fish.
You ever tried to change a Frenchman's mind?
No.
They don't take some convincing, don't they, really? Most of them.
Well, I got some of my fish in Bayeux, in Britain. Bayeux. He came over and wanted some fish and didn't know how to get them back. And I said, well, we'll gas them up, put them in your bag, back of your boot, put something over the top of it, and make sure you don't mention it to customs when you go through. And yeah, he's still got them there now.
He's got that top spot. Tom's done, hasn't he? He's moved out from UK to France. He's got like a fishing lake and all that kind of thing. I think if you were doing that kind of thing, like some form of seasonal holiday stroke fishing stroke koi, you might be able to wangle it out there quite easy, I reckon.
It's the weather though, isn't it? It's just the climate is a lot warmer over there.
Yeah. But what's the winters like in comparison to ours? Milder, colder. Which
milder, isn't it?
Depends where you live. A massive place. You've got mountain ranges. You got middle of France. Got no one in it. Who are you selling your fish to there?
It's like Guernsey and Jersey, isn't it? Where was the Europe's capital of tomato growing? Was in Guernsey.
Europe. Evening hours. In another 20 years, the UK will have much better weather for growing koi when others are going to become too hot. What a lot of shit. What a crap, man. It's exactly the same temperature now as what it was in 1976 when I was born.
How can it be?
50 years. Because in 1976, 50 years ago, we were having the same kind of heat wave right there and then when I was born as what we are now. That's 50 years and no, it's no different.
Yeah.
Only difference is now.
They don't stack up, do they? The last hottest 20 years have been in the last 15 or whatever, haven't they?
It's not making that much of a massive difference. I mean, I would have thought that we'd probably end up with maybe warmer summers, but a shitload of fucking colder winters, would we not?
Well, if El Nino happens, we'll be colder all round.
Yeah, fucked, dead, froze to death.
There you go.
That's why we're going to start howling, aren't we?
Inca.
She asleep. If global warming weather keeps up, we'll all have moved to Iceland. We are breaking records. And the polar ice caps are melting.
The funny thing is...
That's a line from a slave song, I think.
Somebody said about this the other day, the ice caps, when they started melting, and it was when we had transport vehicles. So how did the global warming from vehicles affect the ice cap melting back all these...
Industrial revolution, mate. All the smoke in the sky.
There you go. Look. 1976, temps in June were 26 to 36. Exactly what we've got now.
Okay. And didn't do you any harm, did it?
Didn't do me no harm at all. None whatsoever. I will say that there were nearly 5.5 foot of snow, though, when I came out in March from hospital with my mum. And they had
You
to walk.
remember that?
I don't remember it, but photos show it. Oh, yeah, I remember it well. My first day sledging, 3-month-old.
It's one of them, innit? One massive volcano can put more shit in the air than we do, but we do have an influence on the climate.
No.
Honestly, I come from work that's hot, and we're out in the sticks, and it's proper hot. I come back here, and oh my god, it's like a different sort of heat. It's like being on holiday heat. Everything's all the tarmac and concrete. It's all like radiating heat at you. It's like holy crap. No wonder middle of London must be unbearable. Like because but that's what concrete does, isn't it? It just stores the heat.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
it gets hot, and then during the night it's still hot, and then it's just hot, isn't it?
Yeah, then gas.
Hang about. That's we've got to bring that one up first. Congratulations, mate. Because that means that they've been married for 50 years, and that's an achievement. There's not there won't be many of the younger generation achieving that kind of thing, as most seem to give up within the first 5 minutes.
But Tony's never at home.
Huh?
Tony's never at home now.
That's the secret to it. Congrats, Tom.
There you go. Talking volcanoes, I can remember when I was over there and it like gobsmacked me. How many volcanoes are there in Japan?
28.
440.
Fuck off. No way.
It's true. It's true.
No. There's no wonder they get so many freaking earthquakes and shit, then, is there? Really? 400?
Yeah, 400. 440.
We're talking about Tony Farmore Coy's 50th wedding anniversary.
No, he's been married 50 years.
To who?
She's under the patio.
Could be his fifth wife.
It could be. But he did say I got married in 1976.
Fair enough. And she makes some good cakes. We have 3 delivered this week.
Apparently she's under patio. So
we got some cakes. We got some cakes coming to the show, Rick.
Is Kelly coming?
Yeah.
Hang about. Which one of you guys are actually the ice caps are melting? And then Sparks Coy says the ice caps have grown over the last couple of years. Which is it? Which one of you is conspiracy?
Well, they grow every winter and they shrink every summer.
Well, yeah, they melt back, don't they? And then come back.
And Antarctica's the other way around. It's mad. It's a lump of ice fell off at the size of the UK the other day, didn't it? Imagine that.
That's nuts, that is, isn't it?
A lump of ice as big as the UK fell off. It's like, that's a hazard for shipping, isn't it?
That's a lot of ice cubes, isn't it?
But
There
could be a whole new bunch of penguins. I know penguins live up. No, they do live down south, don't they? Yeah, penguins are down south, polar bears up north.
Yeah,
I thought the polar bears ate the penguins.
Well, they've got a long way to go, haven't they?
And seals. All they can get their hands on, really, aren't they? Because they're opportunists, aren't they? They'll just fucking hell. We turned into a right channel tonight, haven't we? Sorry, Colin.
Does anyone notice the Nationals on?
We're not talking about Coy.
The Nationals on this weekend, isn't it?
It is, mate. Yeah. You're right.
Should be good.
Speed 36.
30-mile-an-hour limit out there.
Was that Zoe coming home?
That's takeaway drivers just dropped off the pool.
Mate, and that's shutting the windows and stuff to keep it quiet because the windows are open.
Rick, what would you be doing then tomorrow morning? Getting ready.
If you were prepping and you were going to start doing it, what would you be doing? What would you fit? What would you be doing this evening? If you were boxing,
I'd have a few beers this evening. I'd make sure I've got the right number of boxes that fit into my car that I'm putting the fish into if I'm doing them in boxes and bags, so that you don't get suddenly stuck going, shit, they don't fit.
Would you not be floating your bags this evening ready for tomorrow morning?
It depends on what you're packing them in. So most people, like Matt's customers, their water would be mint to pack them in their own water.
So they'd be packing it.
So
Would you advise to do that, or would you think packing water would be better? Like you would do if you were going to.
I'd advise to pack in your own water generally, as long as. Why would you pack them in tap water or whatever when your pond's better? I'd literally make sure you got enough bags to double bag every fish you take in, with enough bags spare in case you damage a bag or you got a dodgy bag or whatever. So you got spares, you got your elastic bands, you got your oxygen. Put all the boxes in the car tonight or yesterday, preferably, to make sure they all fit. How you're going to stack them, how they're all going to go in, because it's a great going, I've got 11 fish going, I'm going to bag them separately, I've got 11 boxes, and you try and fit them in your car and go, they don't work, it doesn't work. You don't want that stress, do you? So, you got
a dry run, so to speak.
Whatever you've got that's all going to go in nice. Be just prepared, and if you want to, if you've got somewhere you could pump some water out your pond to store the water or whatever, it depends on how you're going to do it. Everyone's pond's slightly different, but you need to be, minimize issues. Practice as well. Practice doing up bands on, gas in bags and making sure you can do it.
Your bags aren't deflating and stuff.
Yeah. But that again, it's a bit late now. But Matt, you better be right. But yeah, I think that's the best thing. Most people got normal vehicles, haven't they? And you can only get if you're taking to the show. I think the show's only 11 fish per vat now because of the temperatures. Matt probably can clarify that. They've reduced the number and size of the fish.
Yeah, they have. I mean, let's face it. If you were taking, oh shit, wrong one. Hang about, bear with me. If you were taking that amount of boxes, that's 5, 10, 11 boxes. You're going to need a fair big vehicle to put that amount of stuff in. I'm guessing he's got a transit van or something, Matt, yeah? Or has he got a big... That's a lot of fish to take.
Yes, bless him. Sean's height. I was going to find a picture. I'll see if I can find it. But yeah. We've got, because we got 2 lots as well. So we got Sean's we've got to go to. Then we've got to call in at Ollie's.
The trouble is that Sean's made boxes for all his fish that are lovely jubbly, and Ollie's got like cardboard boxes that are going to get squashed.
No, do you honestly think Sean would do that for anybody?
No, I reckon Sean's made boxes for everyone at the show. He's going to turn up with 70,000 boxes, all pre-made.
Yeah,
and there's proper effort in that. That's a slide-out lid with proper handles for lifting them at job lot.
Oh, you want to see them inside? They are literally
like silk lined, like coffins.
They got insulation in them. They're protected. The corners are chamfered so the fish can just...
That's a good thing, though, isn't it? That is a good thing, though, isn't it? He's gone to trouble to make sure that his fish get there in the very best condition and as safe as he possibly can. And he's going
to sell them at the show to the highest bidder, getting them home again.
Yeah. So I posted a picture of it yesterday on my Facebook group, and somebody said Sean has already won grand champion for the best boxes.
But that's the thing, isn't it? There'll be people out there that are just going to not be that prepared, aren't they? So Sean's someone that he's probably measured his van, knows how many boxes he can get in, he's made the boxes, knows the fish, knows how many he's got to take with.
He's even washed it.
I know. He only picked it up today. Literally picked it up and he wasn't happy with it, so he's washed it.
I think we've got special coloured doors on the backs and all vans.
To be fair, Rick, I thought when I saw the picture, first of all, I thought it was you with a shirt on.
Mate, he's got good taste, hasn't
he? Shirts like you like, yeah.
But so you got the other end of the extreme. Take Vince, he's got his tiny little car and he's got to try and get all his fish into his car with Susan, and probably God knows how much memorabilia stuff he's going to take with him. Cups, he's a cup maniac, isn't he? He's probably taking cups or whatever. So he's got to be much more conscious of space and how he's going to fit him in than Sean with his van. But it's preparation, isn't it? If you're prepared, and someone like Sean would never stack all those boxes in and know the spare wheels underneath them. So when he stops on the motorway with a flat tire, he can't get them out, would he? He would never do that. Oh, he would, wouldn't he? He would do that.
Isn't it? Planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance.
When we went up to Heathrow to pick up the fish that we bought from Japan in February, and we were driving back, and a bloke came up alongside us on the motorway, and he went, "Your tyre, it's fucked." And it was basically, when you got out, you could feel it. It was literally, yeah. It was horrendous.
And his spare was underneath 27 boxes of fish.
Well, that bad. It was underneath, but you had to get it all out. It was just like, yeah. But of course, we had the mechanic with us as well, Ollie. So Ollie stood there, gave instructions.
You want to do that? Not fair.
Did he have a tool set in his false leg?
No, his false leg is a socket.
Use it as a strong bar. Sorry, Ollie. Did over tighten wheel nuts?
Some people will get up tomorrow to get their fish sorted out and realise they haven't got enough bands to do the bags, or their oxygen bottles run out, or God knows what else. And it is, even though the numbers have been reduced, which should make it easier, there will suddenly be decisions, won't there? Tomorrow morning. You've already got in your head what fish you're taking. Now you can only take, maybe you might be taking 2 or 3 less. Suddenly, what ones you're not taking, it just throws another spanner in the works, so to speak.
Do you think with what you've heard and what you've been seeing from, like with Vince being saying, like his fishing spawning like crazy? Do you think there's going to be a lot of spawning going on when they get down there this year? You think
there's a lot of fish, yeah. I know a lot of people, the fish have been spawning in their ponds, which has kind of changed. You build a fish up looking good, and suddenly it spawns, and now it's a skinny wreck or being damaged. And you've got that side of it, and there'll also be fish that go to the show and spawn because that change of environment as well. That's just part and parcel in it. So my advice would be just take the best fish, in terms of. I know some people will have in their head, they'll have had a fish they've got in their head they want to take, and maybe it's spawned, it's damaged, it looks crap, but in their head they want to take it.
But you've only got you're just going to knock.
You just have to take on the day the best fish. And weirdly, a lot of them, if people have got ponds like that, some of the males will now be looking great, whereas some of the females won't be looking so good.
They've lost a lot.
Make that decision, isn't it? It's difficult. Yeah, I know what it's like, isn't it? You prepare a fish almost for a whole year in your head, what you're doing, getting it to that point, that size, that body structure, and then a week before, it all just goes out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, like you said though, only if you have one fish in your vat that don't look 100% because of that kind of thing or whatever, it took a little bit of a knot, lost the scale, got a bit of a sore patch on it from spawning. I would always assume that would bring down the whole vat because
they're not. To be fair, the judges are superb, aren't they? They'll look at the fish and take all that into consideration. And it's just one of those things, isn't it? They're not a minor issue like that. Is something they'll take into consideration and sort of still judge it fairly. But yeah, a fish that's got good skin and good body a week before and then spawned, and now it looks shocking. Yeah. There's no taking that into consideration, really, is there? It's now got no, and it looks bad, doesn't it? So
you're better off leaving it home rather than thinking.
Yeah. If it's been, at the end of the day, it's better for the fish. If it's been through a bad spell, and the spawning is a massive thing on them, isn't it? Then perhaps you leave that one at home and take one that hasn't. You might not have had in your brain to take, but suddenly it looks mint and take it on with you.
Paul Cunningham's put, Rick, our show's in August. Is there less chance of the koi spawning at that time of the year?
He's up near Scotland, isn't he? That's probably their summer. I don't know.
Although I have seen spawning in the vats.
Yeah, I think the time. So the later in the summer it is, the less likely you're going to have a problem. The national is just unfortunately right on that sort of window for most ponds to be coming into sort of temperature for spawning and that change of environment. So that will always trigger it. Yeah, a lot less. You could say, oh, it'd be better off to do it earlier in the year or whatever, but it's not, is it? Because we don't have the temperatures to do it. So it is when it is. Deal with it. Yeah. And even people that have got single sex ponds or whatever still have a risk of moving a bunch of females that can still then start spawning the vats or whatever. It's one of them. Yeah. But obviously in August, you're a lot less likely to have problems with it. The day length goes against it. The temperature should be going. Everything should be in your favour. But that doesn't stop fish that have been in a great big stable environment for 11 and a half months.
And then get moved with a dramatic change to 18, 19 degrees, as it says there. Our vats are normally 18, 19 degrees. They come from 24, they've been there, then all of a sudden they get stuck in a new environment and think, whoa, here we go. It's that.
Yeah.
It's a trigger in it, but whether or not it'll necessarily happen at that time of year.
I think as well, they're putting them in the vats is exactly what Rick would do for the spawning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a different location.
His voice is coming through the roof, not the door.
Wait, stand up again and let me look at that shirt.
This shirt?
What the hell?
Nice loads of horror movies.
Yeah. Mate.
In that one,
reception ain't going to know what to do with me.
You don't even need to go to reception. I'll tell you the room number. You can just quietly sneak on up.
I'm going to reception. I'm going to complain about the TV or something. Find out where the swimming pool is.
As long as you don't rip your trousers this time.
I won't be wearing any, mate. Too hot for trousers. But yeah, spawning fish is one of them, and it's just every time you move them, you run that risk, don't you? At those kind of temperatures. So, yeah.
Oh, just double checking to make sure we've got no. Oh, sorry. I got no questions posted this week, guys. So if there's anybody got any questions they would like to ask anybody on the panel, feel free to do so in the comments. Any more tips that you'd like to give, or you think you should give, or people should be doing, or could be doing in preparation?
By now it's a bit late, isn't it? You should have done all the starving and food regimes and those little vitamin C boosts just to give them a bit of shine. You done that with yours, Matt? Good customers are on it. They're fine. I think at the end of the day, if your fish are prepared right and they're good fish, they'll be all right on the day, won't they? It is.
Just chelping in the background.
It is what it is.
It's not door open because it's red hot.
It's not about winning anyway, is it? It's about participation, meeting all the fellow hobbyists and having a good old laugh.
Well, yeah, it is. But I mean, if you get something, it's always an added bonus, isn't it? If you were going to go, there's no point going and taking a fish that you know yourself. If you're looking at your fish and thinking, well, I wouldn't consider that a show winner, what's the point taking it? Is it just a take? If you're going to a show, it needs to be what most people would consider a nice fish, don't they? Not necessarily a show winning fish, but a show contender, at least.
I think, yeah, you got to go to shows to.
You got something unique. Why not?
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I think back in the day when the shows were busier, you should perhaps have to go to smaller shows to compete and get your feedback and learn from it to go to the national. But yeah, now it's almost to fill the national. Everyone that wants it, so they had VAT spare up until, it's not like there's a waiting list for them. So imagine a worse scenario where everyone felt intimidated to take the fish. You go to the national and there's only 12 tanks of fish.
That'd be the end of it then, wouldn't
it? So you need the participation, and as that grows and it becomes excess amount of people wanting to show the fish, then you can have a criteria to get those VATs. Be it you've been there the year before, be it that your fish have won somewhere else, be it that you're nominated by someone that appreciate. I don't know how you do it. It's one of those. It's just first and foremost, if you've got 90 vats of fish, you need them filled, don't you? With the best fish you can get from the country, and ideally, yes, we all want to see those 90 vats filled with the best 90 ponds in the country. But that's not going to happen because there'll be some people who won't share their fish, and there'll be some. So first and foremost, you need them filled, and you need the attendance of people to be positive and growing and everything. If you get to a point where those vats are, selling out like last year, they sold out really quick. This year, not quite so quick or whatever. But then you can start having a criteria. Well, actually, your fish have got to have been shown somewhere else, or you've got a one at a previous. There's different ways of doing it. You don't want to make it like too elitist and too it's a snobbery-fied or whatever because it costs whatever. You need it to be the best fish and people willing to take those fish. And if someone takes their fish, like Matt's customers have got some seriously good fish. If they go there for the first time showing their fish and they get positive feedback, then they're going to show again.
Yeah,
if they
exactly.
Go there and people are like, what are you bringing them for? And you get negative shit, then they're not going to want to show again, are they? So it's all about anyone that's willing to take their fish and go to the effort. And it is an effort, and it's a whole weekend. It's
not just that. It's the whole
whole
preparation of it all the way through the whole year, getting them there.
Every single person that takes their fish to the national show should be applauded and get an award, just period, really, because that in itself is well done. Some people like Sean's gone the whole hog and built boxes all of his fish, and he spent not just money on the fish, but the hours of love and attention that have gone into doing that little bit is massive, isn't it? It's fair play on him. Other people might go to a show and just stick him in the back of the car in a couple of, I don't know. It's in my head, everyone that attends, fair play. And everyone should be applauded for that. And if there comes a point where there's 10 times more people that want to attend than there's vats available, then you have to make it. How do you make it fair on people? Because you've been before doesn't necessarily make it fair because your fish might not be up to standard, but you've been before, so you get a place. Does that count? Or you've won awards, so you get a place.
Well, I said this at the beginning with the patrons, didn't I? Because obviously all the patrons got the initial vats. So you could have had a situation where somebody that wasn't a patron didn't get a vat and wouldn't be able to show, but they had far better fish. But
I still have to go with the patrons. The supporters of the show should always get perhaps first dibs because someone's got better fish that's never put anything into it. It's one of those, isn't it? But you still want those fish to appear. So
how does a newcomer get involved in it if that's going to be the case? If the patrons are always going to get those places?
Because at the end of the day, it'd be like a closed show where the members get first dibs. I don't know. And this is there's no such thing as a completely fair playing field, is there?
No.
Imagine you're a patron that supported a show and helped set it up and do whatever and shown your fish before. And someone goes, well, no, you can't show because his fish are better than yours. And it's like, well, screw you then. You've lost a loyal person against someone that had a bigger pocket or it's difficult. And this is why the shows, I think that's why there's different types of shows. So it suits everything.
I think that's where it worked out really well this year, that all the patrons got the first dibs. They all who wanted to got their places, and there was enough vats left over for the non-patrons or the new people into the hobby to get the opportunity to go there. So,
yeah, and that kind of works. But if the show gets supported, imagine that the industry grows again like it did back in the 80s and 90s or whatever. There's suddenly you got 500 people that want to exhibit fish at the national, but you've only got 80 vats. Then you've got to start being selective on who can show those fish. And how do you make that criteria kind of fair or whatever? So you'd think you'd have to do a regional show to get to the national. That'd be great, but there's not enough regional shows, is there? So
No.
you're kind of stuck. So at the end of the day, at the minute, I think they've got it spot on for the number of people that want to show.
Exactly, it's spot on for the number.
But you might find in 5 years' time, there's not enough people want to show, or there's too many people, and you've got to adjust something to make it.
Which way do you see it going, Rick? Which way do you see in 5 years' time taking a swing to less shows, less people being involved, wanting to get involved, or do you think it'll keep growing and growing and growing? Because it's not growing and growing and growing, is it? And hasn't.
No. It's gone. It's gone.
Been some issue.
Yeah, it's gone up and down, up and down, up and down. I think it's difficult. I think it will grow again because it's nowhere near the peak it was.
No.
But for it to grow, I think you've got to embrace everything in terms of clubs, in terms of YouTube, in terms of social media, in terms of all avenues of the hobby to make it accessible and open for everyone and good. And I think that's the way it's kind of gone. And it's got much better in it. I know YouTube, there's some
well, there's lots of YouTubers out there that claim that it's all because of them.
YouTube, didn't they? And everyone can do YouTube. So you've got from the best hobbyist in the world to the biggest nincompoop in the world. That's very polite on it. So you've got everyone. YouTube just means you can put something out there, and everyone does it. I think that just is a cross of human society. So yeah, all the more advertising, I think the better. The event is amazing, isn't it? The amount of work that goes into it and the quality of fish there, and I mean, this week must have been horrendous setting up.
Yeah, I guess.
I bet there's some blistered, burnt shoulders, necks, and bloody everything from the temperatures they've had down there. It can't have been easy work doing what they've done.
And fair play. I think that side of it, fair play, and packing it down is even harder because there's less people.
Hey, one thing I didn't realise though, I was surprised. I actually thought when the guys went down there and set up, they did everything. I didn't realise that they only did the central. I mean, I'm not belittling it because it's still a hell of a lot to do. But I actually thought they did the whole outer ring as well. I didn't realise that was. Yeah, I thought they did though, Rick. I thought they put all those marquees up for the traders as well. I thought they did it all. I was surprised to find out that they didn't.
But I think the hardest bit is the takedown. No, there's no glory in the takedown, is there?
No.
No excitement at all, is there?
No, I was surprised to see him actually Virconing down and cleaning the vats before putting them back up and not cleaning them down before they went away. To me, which would have been the better, more sensible idea to have done, especially with fish that have sat and spawned in there and there's eggs and stuff still in there and they're having to scrub them all off with Virkon. And, I would have thought that the better thing to do to preserve everything that they've got, that they've invested all that money into, would be to clean all those down during the packing and the stripping of it all down.
Yeah,
but I guess it's the speed and they need it all to come down and get it out there as quickly as they possibly can. Probably won't allow it.
Yeah, there'd be reasons for it. There's some smart people that deal with it, and if you could pressure wash the vats and just pour the shit on the grass, then they probably would do it, wouldn't they? But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. I think if you can support it, or all the shows, you can support them, can't you? But for the people that attend them, that show their fish at them, it's an undertaking.
Yeah, it is.
So whether their fish are the best, or you might look and go, well, perhaps they shouldn't be here or whatever. I think it's quite harsh, the fact that someone's actually, the vat was available. It's the best fish they got. They've made the effort to get them there, go through benching and be there for the weekend and take them on. And I'd love the fact if enough people wanted to do it, that the show keeps growing, and there does have to be more restrictions on who can show. You've got to have qualified, or you've got to have and this is the problem. How do you quantify? Oh, my fish in my pond are this good. Well, who said so? Oh, I spent this much, or someone so and so said so, or unless they've been to a previous show, and that's the issue, isn't it? That's
how often have you been to a show where you'd actually say that? I mean, I don't really think I've seen a fish where I could go, oh my God, that shouldn't be at a show. I don't think I've seen anything like that in the times that I've been there. I've seen fish that you think, oh yeah, it's not as nice as that, but it's still fucking nice. It's still a lovely fish, but it's not as good as perhaps maybe a fish in VAT 12, But I
think that there's a difference in it. The level of fish has got to be.
There's quality, and then there's top-notch quality, but there's quality there throughout from what I've seen.
I think at the moment the shows need everyone, and if you get to a point where, like I say, there's people clambering for those VATs, and there's enough people, then you can have some restrictions or some. It's difficult.
It'd be like a pre-benching, probably is the only way they could do it, and you have to send
even that's almost impossible. You'd have to do that with photographs, and we know that's not shit. It doesn't work, and then you can't guarantee you're taking those fish. So you could have someone that goes, oh, look at these 5 females are amazing. Next week they'll spawn and they're bad. They can't take those fish. They're turning up with different. It's
But that type of thing like that, though, Rick, somebody doing that and taking a fish that they plan taking this that they've spawned, it doesn't look as good, so they take something else. That can just sway the scales for that other person that's brought a fish to tip it in his favour to beat it, mightn't it? Whereas he might have not had as much competition. So when all these things happen, although they're not always necessarily nice, it sometimes does give other people and their fish and the quality that they've taken a bit of an edge on them.
That's what the thing is. The fish are judged on the day as they are, which is what I struggle with. Everything I do is about the potential. I know what it was, what it's going, everything else, and then it's not going to be. You got to sort of forget that you're just judging what's in front of you.
Yeah,
and that's how it is. That's fine. That's just I don't know. There is no perfect answer, and the show will progress. Things will get put forward, and they'll go down different avenues, and that's great. And different shows will do. The Young Koi show appreciates smaller fish. It works for other people. You go to what you do, don't you? Support. If you can support them all, you do. But we all know you can't travel to them all. It's a nightmare, isn't it? Trying to get around the country. We only live in a little country, and it's still.
It's the expense of it all, mate, when you're whizzing around up and down everywhere. I mean, not everybody can afford to be doing it every time, every year, but the vast majority of people go on time and time again. I suppose if you're into showing them, then that's what your whole season's about, isn't it? About being there, ready to go into the shows to get
100%. And those people, hats off to them. And there's some people that do literally prepare their fish for the shows, and they buy their fish for the shows, isn't it? You're buying them, you're preparing them for the shows, and there's other people.
That's the whole aspect of the hobby, isn't it?
Yeah,
fish for showing,
and that's superb, isn't it? But that's totally different to the majority of people that have got koi in their pond that just buy the fish they like and look after them. And someone goes, "They're right, you should show that." Oh, should I?
Yeah, but that in itself must be a buzz, though. When you take a fish. Well, for example, not last year, year before, I think there was a gentleman at the Great British Koi Show, and he'd got an asagi, and I was stood outside of him, and I was just having a natter and a chat, and I said, "Oh, lovely fish, that mate. That asagi is stunning. That is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely, I'd be blown away if that didn't take a place." Oh no, I wasn't going to bring it. I didn't think it was that good. I'm not, mate. That is mint. He got first in his in size and class, first, and he was buzzing, and that was his first show he'd ever been to. But he were actually debating about whether or not to actually bring that fish. But it was an absolute stunning asagi, beautiful.
But that's that kind of that's the glory side. Well, not the glory. That's the good part of it, and you could also have the other part where you come away with nothing and feel
deflated,
totally disgruntled or whatever. But it's one of those, isn't it?
But I suppose if you come away with nothing, you've got to work on that then and find out, like Alan Tate has said many, many times before, if anybody wants to know as to why, just pull me to one side and ask me. And I will tell you why that decision was made, why that got this over that, or, why it didn't get your first place and it only came in at third or whatever. He'll explain all that. And that gives you a way that you can learn from your show and come back next year and beat it, or not come back, whichever you choose to. But it gives you the option of being able to get that experience, that information, that feedback from people like him, and talking to the other people that are showing the fish that have got those better results or results to find out what they're doing different to what you're doing.
But that's part of the learning, if that's what you're interested in. But a lot of people kind of aren't, are they? They just like their fish. They like their koi pond. Feeding them on certain foods all through the year for different things is not kind of high on their agenda to make sure the fish are ready for a show in June. It's quite a niche thing, but good thing.
If you want in the industry, both of you, would you show?
Yeah, I would now, definitely.
You would?
Yeah.
You would ever go?
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see the tinkerer's face stood alongside his vat tomorrow. Is just going to be, to me, it's going to be quality to see Sean. Like Sean,
you're getting it to do it vicariously through him, in a sense, so to speak.
Yeah.
You were there, you saw him pick his fish in Japan, and you've seen his fish that he's got. You've encouraged him to show his fish. He's taking his fish to show him. And if he comes out with something on it, he's going to be buzzing in there. Yeah. And again, I reckon that's probably going to give you a buzz because you're living that vicariously through him, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's like Sean. Sean's been buying fish equally, probably the same amount of time, probably a little bit less. And to go to the show last year, and he would never, ever, his words were, I don't think I could take my fish up there because being scared of doing something damage to their fish. And then he walked into the showground last year, and I reckon it was 15 minutes of being in the show. He was like, I'm coming here next year. I'm coming here.
I'm bringing them.
I'm bringing them. How often? I mean, I think I've only ever heard of one once. How often have you known or seen a fish that's got damaged or injured going to a show?
I don't know.
I only know of a chag that got a bit uncomfortable, being a bit pissed off being in there and damaged itself, and then I think it ended up damaging itself badly. But it was a big ass meter plus chag, wasn't it? That's the only one that I've never known or seen it. I mean, all right, maybe an odd knock scale or whatever, when some people have taken the fish out and as they've got them out, they've caught a scale or it's knocked a scale or it's got a little bit of a split peck. But again, that kind of thing is, like you've said, judges take it on board, don't they? And it's not that detrimental to the fish because obviously it's happened in transit or whatever. It's not really pulled down so much because of that. But I've never seen
it. It does happen.
I know. I'm not saying it does, but nothing that's not. It's not common, is it?
It's not common.
Irreversible damage.
The water teams do what they can, and the fish that jump. There's stuff that happens before, during, and after. It happens, isn't it? It's the risk, but the team that look after the vats, the water, and everything else, the welfare side of it is superb. So
yeah,
but
you can say that
800 fish at 10. That's the thing, isn't it? You've probably got, say there's 800 fish that attend the show. You might have issues with someone arrival because of unluckiness or poor prep. Then you have damage that can occur being in the vat, be it spawning, jumping, and it happens. It's just,
I know it does happen, but it happens as regular as perhaps having a fish dead on arrival from a delivery or whatever, isn't it? There's element of risk to anything that you do in there. You can't eliminate
fish, isn't it? If you go somewhere and say, look, can you bowl that, whether it's Japan or a shop, net it and bowl it, 99 times out of 100 it's fine, but there's the odd time it will jump and smack itself on the net, or it'll do something stupid, and that's a risk with livestock, isn't it? So, which is the credit to the people that take the fish there, and the people who look after them do a bang on job looking after them. There is an element of risk between being caught up in your pond in the morning, getting to the show, being at the show, and going home. You can't get away from that. That's livestock, isn't it?
You can't. I mean,
that element of risk is minimised.
I've got an absolutely stunning Tancho Sankey in my pond. It's beautiful. But, leaving in some lily pots that I thought were going to start sprouting back, and it flashed off it and gouged its head open. Took a right chunk out of it. It's ruined it. But that's fish keeping, isn't it? It's one of those things. It happens. Shit does happen. Doesn't change the beauty of having that fish in my pond anymore, although it's not necessarily good enough if I wanted to show it anymore now to do so. But, yeah, shit happens, doesn't it? And it's one of them things. But I don't think it's too much of that should put you off if that's something that you're interested in, you really want to do.
No, I think you've got to take it. You've got to take the fact that if you're going to do it, you're going to do it wholeheartedly. Yeah. And those fish are going to be in boxes in your car, and those fish are going to be caught and netted and do whatever. That's it, isn't it? You can't. It's what it is. You trust the team that look after those vats and the water, and they're exceptional, and they do. It's not like they do everything to look after them.
Yeah, they do.
And that's another thing, isn't it? To do the shows, the people who've got to attend, and the people who've got to show, but the people who've got to look after them.
It's a busy, long, hectic weekend for them all, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mess about buying their air and getting drunk.
It is a long weekend.
Yeah,
for everybody to think that you'll be leaving tomorrow morning, and you won't be back until Sunday night, probably, depending on how far you're travelling, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Well, we won't, so we don't get away from now until 5 o'clock. It's going to be 9, 10 o'clock by the time we're home.
Yeah.
So you imagine the risk. So the show's got to put that on, and imagine, okay, this weekend has been mega hot running up to it. It's going to be warm and dry. But imagine if it's a complete washout and you don't get the footfall, and then your vehicles can't get in and out. And imagine the shit show that becomes. But they still got to do it, haven't they? You set out to do it, you still got to do it. But
yeah, that's always been one of my worries whenever you've been to any of them. If it's an indoor event, it's not all that bad. But an outdoor event, if it lashes it down and it's like, say, Evans Open and it's raining for 6 hours straight, screwed, isn't it? The whole job lot. I mean, I know there are the die-hard fans that would go around and they'll brolly up and go around it all and what have you. But if most people get up in the morning and look out the window and think, fuck, it's lashing it down. It's forecast for day, rain all day, sack that off, we're not going.
Imagine how magic it could be that the demand was so great, they could pre-sell the tickets. So the money's guaranteed.
Yeah.
And if people don't turn up, it's still, so, they've got 2,000 tickets a day at 10 quid each. It covers it, whether they turn up or not. That would be great, wouldn't it? Imagine that, rather than you pay on the door, and that kind of gives that scope for people to go, not today, love. Maybe it's something to take into consideration, because a lot of people say they'll go, but then might not. But they wouldn't begrudge spending 10 quid saying they go. They buy the ticket, but then don't go. But at least the shows.
At least the shows still get there. Yeah. Well, to be fair, mate, I won't be bothered about that. I'm paying up for it.
Nor would I. It's just popped to me in, and let's do it. I'm going to set up a fake website.
Yeah. Then Lee Oliver's asked a question. Gaz, here's a question: is it safe buying a koi show fish, or should you do follow-up things when you get home, like mini QT and 1 dose of Alprex, etc.? I.e., when you go to a show, buying a show fish that's been shown that you're purchasing from somebody that I felt, right, I've won this fish is not done, no, I'm selling it, or do you mean from a trader? To me,
they sound probably from a trader. So you go to a trader you might not have known, or because there's a lot of people there, so you might go to visit a trader you don't know, buy a fish. surely you still do. Why would you do a mini quarantine?
From a trader, yeah.
You do if you've got the facilities, you do a full quarantine regardless.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, whether you're buying from a trader you know or don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on with those fish. Those fish in the trade, when you go to a shop, those fish are generally been there for a period and whatever. And at the show, they're under a lot more stress. Why wouldn't you do a full-on quarantine? I'd love to say just be free and buy from everyone, because that's kind of the buzz of it, isn't it? And the amount of people that do buy from lots of people they don't know. But you should go through the same protocol you would as if you're buying a fish in from Japan or doing whatever. And belt and braces, don't get carried away by buying something and then just chucking it in your pond because it looks right in the vat.
To be fair, I have in the past, but not having a QT system, I have just straight in the pond.
This is the thing.
I've been lucky and not had no.
Yeah,
you should. I mean, ideally, you'd like to think that the trades that are there should have done all those. It should be clean, should be safe from the fish, should have QT'd and gone through everything. It should be 100% bob on, should be clean, no parasites, no nothing. You'd like to think that if you took something from that show, it'd be just as the same as taking it from them as a business. And if you're taking it from them as a business and they're a reputable business, they should be bang on anyway.
Should be, but you still got to be.
Oh, that's yeah. I'm not poo-pooing what you're saying, Rick. 100%, I agree. If you've got it, do it. QT it and do it the right way. Because what surprised me is all the traders at the show are not regulated by the show committee or the BKKS, or whatever they are, under their own steam. So if their fish are substandard, it is up to them. Nothing to do with who's putting on the show. So generally, they're all amazing, but they are in an environment they're not normally in, unfiltered or transported and shifted about. So they're under a lot more stress, and a lot of people, they're presenting those fish for the show, aren't they? So yeah, it's one of those. I'm an avid koi keeper myself. I've got vats stashed away off site and whatever all over the place. I buy stuff on auctions. I buy stuff everywhere I go. But I do the same thing. I do not mix them with my pride and joy stuff. If I've got one koi pond with all my amazing fish, I'm not going to buy from a dealer I don't know at a show and just throw it in there.
But you wouldn't buy a fish from a dealer that you did know and chuck it in there either.
No, I wouldn't buy.
Exactly what I was saying.
I wouldn't buy a fish from myself and chuck it in there. Literally, you've got to be. Yeah. You've got to be careful. So at the end of the day, if you haven't got a decent quarantine facility and you're going to just chuck them in your pond, I'm not being a dip in PP or outbreaks might knock off a parasite or two, but it ain't going to stop the problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just think twice. And if the dealer's active, if it's a decent fish, then surely, I don't want to say it because they might want to, I don't know. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
What were you going to say? I was
going to say if you wanted to fish, the dealer would probably hold it on until you're prepared or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's not what they're at the show for. So, yeah, buy. I'd love it, but as long as you got somewhere sensible to put it.
Lee's put there. He said, "I bought from Ryan 1 year, but only on one condition that he took it back to Retford and did his stuff. Chucked it back in the pond and left it there till you're ready." I'm
not saying that, but most dealers won't do that because.
What is a QT then? That we should do 6 weeks in a pond. Yeah, 6 weeks in a vat, but then you've got to bring some of your stock to that fish to see if it triggers anything on those fish that you've put with it, rather than putting that one fish with all your stock and triggering something throughout your whole pond. You're using not so much a sacrificial fish, but a fish, one or two, rather than if you got 25 fish in your pond and you go home and you put that one fish in and it brings something in, it affects all 25. If you put that in a QT system and bring 2 or 3 of your fish into that with that one, and then it triggers something, you're only triggering it with 2 or 3 rather than triggering it with 25.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's one of those. It's one of those questions.
It's a lesser of 2 evils, isn't it? If it triggers out.
In an ideal world, we'd have multiple ponds where you can go. This new fish goes here, and put something with it, and we give it. We do whatever, but we don't live in that world. So, trusting the dealer, looking at their past history, their reputation, time they've been. If you buy a fish from someone that's been in the industry for 25 years and has got a good reputation, it's got to be safer than someone you've never heard of that's just imported a load of fish from wherever. And when you speak to them, they don't have a clue where it's from, or it's the same, isn't
They use a Benny guy.
So look at that picture, Gaz, I just sent you. So this guy bought all fish that were probably 65 cm upwards. Guy was shutting down the pond. He bought basically everything, all his drum filters, the whole lot. And I'd seen the fish, and they were spotless, all looking good.
I mean, I know one thing. I will say this because I know I've listened to Vince and I've listened to his channel and I've listened to him say it. And he says, I wish people wouldn't go on about when you buy fish from somebody to put in your pond because shit like this happens. It's only not a problem when it doesn't, but when it does, and it happens like this, and that kind of, believe it or not, I've seen ulcers and damage of that size and bigger in less than a week and a half, and the whole sides of fish completely gone. Looking,
this is the bad. This is the bad bit about it. The problem is, wherever you buy from, wherever you're getting the fish from, and this is where you've just got to be sensible. Yeah. If you can't, if you've got an empty pond and you get offered a pond of 20 big fish, well, you take them. You've got nothing to lose, have you? Like you're saying, at the end of the day. But the minute you've got a stock, then you want to protect, then you have to protect them. You wouldn't chuck your kid in, it's being sensible. And yes, if a business has got website and reviews and history and all the rest of it, then you get more and more confidence in them. And they're doing the right things, and that's where that comes from. Whereas if you're buying someone off Gumtree, I've got some fish for sale. They could be the best fish in the world. They could be the worst fish in the world. There's no reference point to it, and then you have to take those fish like they're radioactive, and they could be the best. They could be the worst. You've got nothing else to gauge them on.
The amount of times, Matt. I mean, how many times have you seen it? Post on Facebook when somebody posts a picture of a fish looking like that, and somebody goes, "You need to do some scrapes. That's definitely parasites."
Yeah, those fish, I went up and seen them probably 2 days after he picked them all up and did a scrape on the fish, and there was literally nothing on them. They were clean.
I mean, you don't get that level of shit from parasites.
And they were almost too clean. And I questioned him over the whole setup or the whole deal, and basically he had 15 fish there, and I said to him about the size of the pond that they come from, because he had 2 massive big drum systems on it that he picked up in the deal. So I knew that it was going to be a biggish pond, and it was up to 90,000 litres. He had 15 fish out of 90,000 litres, and it was like, what happened to all the rest of them? And I asked him about that, and he had sold some already. And I reckon what it was basically the heartbreak of having a disease, bacterial infection in his pond, losing his fish left, right and centre, cleared out the worst of them, and then moved on everything because he'd had enough of the hobby. And what he didn't really consider was what he was actually going to be given to somebody else. And then as a result, those 15 fish are all falling apart, and every single one of his fish are dead.
I mean, I've always said it right from day dot. I think you should purchase your fish from somebody you trust, reputable, and experienced with what they're doing. And at the end of the day, if you stick to that, you should never have any issues.
I agree, but we all love the fact you go to a show and see those fish, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I mean, Rick. I mean, I've bought fish from you, never had an issue. Never had I've bought fish from other places and never had an issue. I know there's been other people that have bought fish from certain places and had fucking shit tons of issues. There's a comment there in there. I purchased something from something and ended up with something, and I know somebody that's done exactly the same, mate. And that totally fucking annihilated every single fish he ever had. And that's what happens when you buy from dickheads. You get problems.
Yeah, it is difficult. It's livestock. They carry stuff. Some people are unaware. Some people are.
Yeah. It don't necessarily have
you
to
want
be
to go to a
something-
show if you're going to go to a show, look at the fish amazing. You see something you really want to buy. If you're going to buy it, but make sure you've got somewhere to put it. Without risking other stuff. But the dealers at shows are generally amazing.
That's what I'm not meaning in show. I'm not meaning show wise, Rick. I'm not poo-pooing anybody at shows in any way, shape, or form. To me, the vast majority of everybody that should be there should be a reputable dealer and know what they're doing. And 100%. In my eyes, anyway. But error of caution, to be safe than sorry, if you've got a QT, stick it in one and make sure you go through whatever you're going to do. That way, then you're not running the risk of potentially losing everything you've got.
Yeah, it shows we don't live in that ideal world sometimes.
No, we don't. I mean, I don't. For me, it's not an option. And as Lee's put in there, so does the so-called PP dips on a new fish work, which I've never done. LOL. I mean, it has an effect on some things, mate. It might knock back some parasites, but that's about as far as it's going to go.
But the trouble is, you PP your fish, right? You might knock off. It might have cost you. It might have whatever. But at the end of the day, you're setting that fish up now with strip mucus in a bad place, which is not in itself horrendous. But you also there's another level of stress that goes in there. So if it's carrying something underlying, or the other fish have got something that it's not seen before, you're opening it up to then.
Yeah, you're exposing it more by stripping everything back.
And it's
like taking his coat off and saying, "Are you still cold?"
Yeah, I wouldn't knock it. There's positives to it. It's like anything, isn't it? In some scenarios, you're probably helping something. In another scenario, you're opening it up to another problem, or you're creating a problem. There's no perfect answer.
Well, even if we weren't talking about anything bacterial, and you got a fish and you're taking it and you're putting it in your QT pond, if your QT pond's smaller than your main pond, at least you can treat that one individual fish for parasites a lot cheaper than what you could do by treating your main body of water.
As long as your quarantine pond's
smaller.
I'm laughing because it's exactly what I've just done, isn't it? My main pond, that was 85,000 litres of water, knew they had flukes in there, and I've managed to do in the rebuild. Catch them all up, chuck them in a 6,000 litre pond, treat it for a damn sight less money than what you would have done in the main pond.
Yeah, you want to be extreme though. You've rebuilt the whole pond, fucking put a sauna over it and a gymnasium, haven't you?
Balls, but I mean, if you were going to turn around and say, right, if let's say, for example, Rick, if I wanted to build myself one so I could make sure that anything that I do from now on, moving forward, I wanted to QT, what's the minimum size I could do for a Tosai and Nisai QT system? Literage.
You need something that's at least. I think you've got something that's like 3,000 litres. So what's that? 800 gallons would be.
You reckon that big though, Rich? Because
if you're buying, if like Paul Cunham's asked there, Tosa, he's buying Nisa at 50 cm.
Oh yeah,
I think 50 centimetre fish. So you've got to have something suitable that in my head, you've got to have your QT's got to be good enough with filtration and whatever for those fish to live in semi sort of permanently or a decent length of time. So your QT might be 6 weeks, but in reality, things might go AWOL and they've got to be in there 14 weeks because after 6 weeks, you've got issues and you've got to deal with something or you've introduced something or whatever. So they've got to be able to be comfortable to live in it, to live in it and thrive in it for a period before, for someone like Paul's case, he's got a serious pond where you ain't want to be putting stuff in there unless you're 100% sure it's
If
all
you
right.
if you were going out and buying the average 20 cm sort of fish, you wouldn't need 3,000 litres, would
No,
you?
no. If you're buying, but if you're only buying small toe side, then you could probably half the size of that. An IBC with a filtration system would probably be right. So what's that? 1,000 litres, and you could get away with it for fish up to 20 centimeters. But you're also putting those fish under a lot of stress in that small environment.
But they want to
Some
be
of them
under
are
stress,
used to
don't
it. They do, yeah. But it's like it's undue to a point. It's got to be a cent. You know, you can keep a fish tank, a 3-foot.
Yeah,
fish
you don't
tank
want to stress it
fine.
to the point of killing
You
it.
could put a 20 centimeter fish in a 3-foot fish tank and keep the water mint. But the stress of that fish going into that environment could be too much for it to handle, isn't it? You've got to be sensible. And yeah, it depends how far into the hobby you are and what you're doing. If you're in the point where you're going to be going out buying, toe side and knee side that you're spending a couple of grand on to seriously look after, then your QT system should be the dog's bollocks, shouldn't it? It should be a pond that is as good as your main pond, just smaller. If you're
going to show and buying yourself a £1,500 fish, because there are them out there at that kind of prices. If you were going to buy a fish like that, you'd like to think that somebody who would invest in £1.5 grand in a fish would have a QT system capable of putting that fish in to make sure that it was bang on before it went into his main body, where he's probably got 50 grams worth of fish.
You would hope so, but a lot of people perhaps don't. They didn't,
Yeah. How about? Well, I have another question.
I just think the 3 people that come into my show tomorrow with me, none of them got a quarantine system. None of them, and they got expensive fish in there. But what are they do? But what are they doing? They're trusting their dealer because they know that I do it properly, and that's.
And this is the thing. So you're doing it in how you're doing it. I don't want to call you small, but you're a person-to-person dealer that will know those fish, where they've come from, where you've quarantined them. You know those fish inside out. Whereas you go to a bigger establishment that's got 10 staff, haven't got a fucking Scooby-Doo what they're selling, and that vat's going here and that vat's going there and doing whatever, and that net's been moved there. So you've got an issue there suddenly where you've got quarantine fish over there, you've got fish over here, fish being mixed, you've got net going from over there, being sold to someone. It's a different scenario, isn't it? So you're going from a very bespoke, you're like a bespoke kitchen fitter to being and cupboards that might fit.
What's it been called a kitchen fit?
Bathroom.
You went till I see you tomorrow.
But what I'm saying is, every single fish you're selling to it, you know them. No one else is touching your stuff. No one else is moving fish about. No one else is doing anything. And it might be great. Our petrol license might say you don't move that net from that tank and you don't move this fish. And I'll walk in and there'll be a customer bowling up fish with a net from somewhere else. And you're like, what the, suddenly you go, oh, shit. And then suddenly and before you know it, potentially things have been moved about. So we can be as biosecure as we like, but costier from that tank that's not for sale. The net on that tank might have suddenly been moved over somewhere else. And you might have a sign saying, don't move the net. But someone might have moved the net.
Talking of costier and stuff like that, parasites, flukes, trick, whatever. If I've got costier trick in my pond and I've knocked them back to the point where I've got rid of the numbers, I might have missed a few. I move a fish to somebody else's pond and they, I've been careful, he's been careful. But those fish in there have not. Well, what I'm trying to say is it a possibility with my parasites costier and his parasites costier, and those two different fish getting a mix from a different strain, so to speak, although they're still costier, that could cause detrimental issues for their fish with adverse effects?
So you're talking fluke and a super fluke.
Oh, I'm talking about
100%. Yeah, if you move any livestock,
all 3 of us are here, but all 3 of us are different. My immune system's might be shit at one thing, but yours might, blah 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 blah. It's something I might have. If I got a cold, might not necessarily give it to Rick, but you might come down with it.
Yeah, he's pretty weak. He goes down.
But actually, Rick, when you think about it, last year when you come over and you're looking at the polytunnel, I went, look at that fucking fish. What is wrong with it? And I did a scrape on it, and I can't remember what it had. It had Costio or something. This is in the polytunnel, so we treated, job done, finished. But I remember you saying, keep that fish, and I've still got it to this day, because he'll be your indicator, as in his immune system was shite.
That's what I'm meaning. So for example, if you shifted one fish from, I'm not talking business wise, but I'm talking about like from one pond to somebody else's pond, is there a possibility that their fish can have an adverse effect to a parasite that they might have seen before, but yet because it's come from my pond, can that be more detrimental to them, their fish, than what it is to mine? And mine might be thinking, well, I don't give a shit. I've got fluke on me. I came with them, not bothering me none. But yet, all of a sudden, his fish might be really feeling shit and getting feeling, under the weather, so to speak. Is there any truth to that, or no?
There's a bigger truth to that. That's probably, yes, you can have every parasite, so every fluke and every Costia's seen everything that's slightly different. It's not like Costia's a single species that's exactly the same, and flukes are different. You've got different strength, depends what they've been treated with, but probably beyond that, you've got, for every parasite, you've probably got 10 different types of bacteria that are there in and around fish that might cause an illness and might not cause an illness. But when you move that fish, all right, you might have the Costia might cause a bit of an issue, but there might be something underlying, be it a virus, be it a bacteria. People just seem to be nailed onto one or two things. There's a whole host of stuff out there.
Yeah.
That will cause problems.
So not necessarily just because if you had an adverse effect when you put fish into one pond from another pond, and the only thing you find is Costia, and you think straight away, oh, it's the Costia, but like the others, it's the
most of the time it's
strain of
dangerous
that they haven't.
It's bugs and
on top of the Costia.
Lots of issues that have. Every time you mix stock, there will normally be a reaction.
Yeah,
and you can scrape until you're blue in the face, and it's not something you're going to find parasite-wise. It's something that's a viral or bacterial thing. Different types of bloody fungus and stuff. There's so many things, and those fish will deal with it. The only stuff that's notifiable are serious SVC, KHV, certain, Pseudomonas and bacteria that cause proper diseases in fish that are almost out of control. Once you got them, they're out of control. That's why they're notifiable, because they're dangerous to that side of things. There's a whole host of other stuff that, in a good environment, your fish will go, oh, I feel a bit shit today. Next day, shoot that off, I'm all right.
Yeah.
But if you've got a really bad environment and the fish are really stressed, it can become a bigger issue than perhaps what it is. And you can have different strains of flukes, different flukes that have seen different products. Costia that might be your pond you treat with malachite formula, what the bottle says, and it works. The next guy's Costia that comes along, it's like bulletproof. You've got to go in with something proper.
You see that loads on the forums where people talk about the medication they've used and use this, work to treat for mine, we eradicated them.
Yeah, that's
stock density, water chemistry.
That's why I brought it up.
There's so many variants in a pond, because A put A in and it worked. B's not going to put the same in and it work. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately, because his water is totally different.
We're talking to you, Rick. I went through Kasuri Fluke F to get rid of flukes. Kasuri Fluke F, 2 weeks on bounce. Scraped again, still got fucking fluke. Went in again then with Kasuri Fluke P because I'd got it, so why not? Went in, did it, still got flukes. I'm like, what the hell, man? Did what you said then, like 2 types of Prosiquatro type based. Then going in with flubenzazole, however you pronounce it. Got that wrong in my video last time as well. But using that version as well, this time I've spent hours out there checking on them now. I'm keeping an eye on them, and I've not seen I scraped some, found and clean. Well, scraped 3 fish, 3 individual scrapes per fish, clean, nothing. So I thought, that's it. Not going to be whizzing net around. I'm not going to be stressing them out. Not going to be pissing them off. Not taking any more out. I'm just going to monitor them. I'm going to watch them. I'm going to see how they feed, see how they act, see how they behave. And I've not seen a single fish flash. Not in the sense of where I go, oh shit, that's bad. That's something not right there. I've watched them feed and I've given them mealworms, and I've watched one fish flash twice after eating some mealworms. Other than that, that's it. And I think now I've got them nailed on. But that took 3 different applications of 3 different products.
But the first one might work. The problem is the flubenzidone takes a long time.
Yeah, that's why I left it.
You've got to ingest it and deal with it, and it cuts them. So you can't necessarily go to, like with Costa, you treat with formalin or whatever, and you kill it in 24 hours. It's dead. Scrape, done. With flukes, you're treating with a treatment. They've got to ingest through the mucus of a fish and take enough of it on to stop their life cycle progressing further. So it might take 10, 12, 15 days for it to have an effect. So it's still an effective treatment, but it just takes a longer
just a long
time. People expect stuff to just happen straight away, don't they? And I think the bigger the parasite, generally the longer it takes. But it's different. You might have killed them first time, and then you've double killed them, and then treble bastard killed them. So
no, I've done scrapes in between them, Rick.
Problem is it possible to use one medication and hamper them, and then put another medication in there and finish them off?
Yeah,
maybe.
That's what I mean. You don't know which one it's actually the most effective, but you find
I don't mind saying, because I'm not telling nobody to do it. So do what you please, guys. I gave more dose than what I should have done in my first treatment of Kasuri Fluke F. Only just a bit over than what it's specified, and I'd followed as it said to do with the treatment.
But the thing with flubenzidone gas, right? So that's something they quite often put into animal feeds. But how do you quantify how much an animal's going to eat? So it might be in the feed at 10 milligrams per kilogram, and you chuck the food in, and the hungry pig goes and eats the fucking most of it, and he's now got a 10 times overdose that goes through his system, and his little brother's like little weenie pig didn't eat very much at all, so now he's not got a dose at all. That's how it's used. So basically, and then it goes through the pig, through the fluke, and does its job. But it's so difficult to quantify, and then when you put it into the water, it doesn't work. It's supposed to go through the fish, through the mucus, through the fluke. She's agreeing.
The bottle that I got treats 20,000 litres. My pond's only 6. I got 2 treatments out of a bottle, guys. So don't take a brain surgeon to work out how much you're treated for.
16.
Yeah.
Or was it 18?
The answer is actually 17.
But the point being that it took that much to get rid of it, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I've nailed it on the head. It's just that if I wanted to move a couple of the ones just to cheer my dad up and give my dad a couple of, some of the ones that are not, they're nice, they're all right, the pond fillers, but my dad would get a bit more enjoyment out of them because he has lost some with his problems that he's had with his problems that he's got. I know it'd cheer him up no end, but give him an opportunity. But I don't want to give him something and then give him fucking problems and then end up starting to treat treatments in 2 ponds because then it becomes twice as expensive. So my worry is
there's a different way of looking at it, mate. Some people enjoy dealing with the treatments.
Yeah, not my dad, mate. Not now, mate. Honest to God, man, it's getting. It's fucking bad, Rick. It's not bad, but it's. I can no longer have a conversation with my dad like I used to be able to do years ago. It's not.
Then just give him a couple of fish, mate. You know they're all right. They're all right.
But then, but my worry is that if they all come back and they start with flukes again, and I've moved my fish. My thing is now, if I move them on from me, give them to my dad, kill all the rest of his stuff off and give him because he says don't spend out. It's as you say in there, should QT him before we move him around to him and do all the rest of it. Or if I just open my head and have a can of worms in it.
I think you're getting too in depth there. You know those fish in your pond have been all right for years. They might have flukes, they might not, but they're clean now.
Oh yeah, that would be my only worry if I'd just be giving him parasites. So I'm not, no qualms about all else. No, not at all. Anyway, ladies and gents, it is coming up to that time, and that time being where the most of you are going to have to get yourselves to bed to get up nice, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow morning. You're packing your fish and getting ready for the koi show to get yourself prepped up and ready and all good for it.
Show.
Well, there's a koi show apparently at weekend somewhere, just down south somewhere.
Have you got?
Yeah, I'm going to bring this one to an end, and I'm going to say thank you very much to everybody for joining us. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Matt. All you guys out there for joining us week in, week out. Shit.
That was a question.
No, we were supposed to be doing single coloured fish, and I forgot to post it. My apologies, guys.
The red.
Do it next week.
We'll do it next week. Yeah, single coloured koi for next week's koi appreciation. I hope you all have a fantastic time and enjoy the show. And usual thing, guys, if you've been enjoying this kind of content, do us a huge favour. Like, share, subscribe.
See some of you on Saturday.
Have a good one and enjoy. And I'll see you all on the next one. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night. This has been one hell of an experience. Have a look at that.
New change in the garden. Made a little secret out of there. Into the little bush. So you can sit inside the other pond.